if we can have your name.
My name's Aaron.
Aaron, how old are
Yes,
you?
ma'am. I'm 29.
29. Okay,
Yes.
and what do you do?
I'm a licensed plumber.
Okay, very cool.
Yes.
And now, what do you look for in a woman?
I look for a woman that's not promiscuous and has a career going for herself.
Okay.
Exactly. This is one of the reasons why I started to tell my story. And after I told my side of the story, so many women have came forward. Now, this girl I found on Facebook, well, it was sent to me. And she's basically saying that they hung out and he's going around stating he got $500 on whoever finds her because that she stole his wallet or whatever. But he actually physically put hands on her. You can see it. This is her original post. I just cropped her name off of it. I don't want to expose her. I don't want to put her in any danger. So this is the Facebook post. She says she works really hard for her money. It looks like she's a single mom as well. And that he's like airing her out to whoever. This is a picture of him. And that's her little story. If she wants to come out and tell her story, that is completely up to her. It did take me a little while to come out with my side of the story. I didn't know if I wanted to do it. But again, the reason why I did it was because I wanted other women to be safe. I wanted other women to feel like they can come forward to any type of experience of abuse that they have been through. And, you know, I can keep showing you guys proof if you guys want, but that's that side. Now that we opened the can of worms, let's go ahead and talk about part one of Watch Who the Fuck You Date. So his name is Aaron. Aaron is my ex. We dated for a few months and it didn't last very long. And let me tell you why. He is like insane. It's like he has that little person talking to him in the corner of his shoulder at all times. Like he's making up constant stories in his head about like that I'm cheating on him, that he's got to watch his back, that I have guys in my apartment at all times, and that I'm cheating while I'm at work, when I work in a clinic full of women, by the way. So let's take it back to the beginning. So
you got people just making all these random stories and claims about you, and they don't even know you.
Podcast. The thing is that when you have clips, shows like this of certain people, images get deforming in your mind about who the person is and things that they believe in. But a podcast where they get to sit down, you ask them questions and you see how they articulate, you see how they think through things. I think it can paint a better picture, a more accurate picture to the type of person that he is, to elicit the type of behaviors that we saw.
Can I get a
At last.
The king's back and the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good riddance. Say hi to the bad guy, I'm back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do, I'm back with vengeance. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose.
For those that's listening out there in the YouTube universe, shout out to Great Pill Podcast. Go holler at him. Hell yeah. Give him a like and subscribe. Go view his channel, if you will. Courtesy of Classic Lights.
For all your Spanish watchers and viewers, Telemundo, Univision, Galavisión. Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches, damas y caballeros. Por favor, suscriben, gusten y por favor compartir este canal de YouTube. Cualquier parte del mundo donde están ahorita, por favor. Familia, amigos o socios de trabajo, lo que sea, por todo el mundo, por favor, suscriben al canal del Grey Pill Podcast, el Pastilla Gris, por favor. Muchas gracias.
Oh man. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate everybody for coming on through and just representing for the Gray Pill podcast. I don't know. I may or may not have a special guest coming through. I sent them the link and everything so they can join for the conversation. All right, so this is the thing, right? We kept the conversation just on the dating thing, and I was a little bit upset. I'm still going to keep it the same energy I had yesterday because I don't think there's no reason for anybody to lose their job because of the dating show. I saw a little bit of Yanni's conversation where she said that the reason for this gentleman, I'm gonna call him Weapon X. I'm not gonna really just put out his name like that, even though he's openly done it on the dating platform. Hey, what's going on, X-Ray? Appreciate you. I'll get all the welcomes out the way. Yeah, so this gentleman, Weapon X, I call him the plumber, the dating plumber. He was on a dating show, looking for love at all the wrong places. That was my issue. He dated. He was going through the dates. A lot of people had their issues with him, like how he said what he said. Even Classic Ruby that was here on our host, because we needed a woman's perspective on this, like because every guy had their own opinions. Women had their own opinions, so we had the conversation. Was the guy right for how he interacted with it? You know, most people in the chat, you know, hey, I felt a certain way. Ruby said, hey, this is what I see. It was back and forth. Most guys in chat last time was like, hey, you know what? This is what just another woman defended the woman flock and blah, 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 blah. So I was okay. Everybody got their perspective on it. But at the end of the day, it was a quote unquote speed date. They gave a little, he gave a little, he had walked off with a date. Okay, in the show. Moments after that, could have been a week, could have been a day. Come to find out, he lost his job because I guess strangers on the internet decided like to go out their way and reach out to his job and all this stuff. This is stuff that he posted on his Instagram. We showed that earlier during that show. Was that right? No, it was not right. If you don't like the guy, if you think like he's not your type, I know the woman on the platform that was dating like called him a Ninja Turtle. People in the chat here, had the different vibes and opinions of him. It's like, hey, the button-up shirt, he's showing too much teeth, his forehead, all this stuff, which is fine. Again, that is your perspective of you do not liking the guy, whatever, or you feeling some vibe. And I even said this before. Women have that third eye on their forehead when it comes to just things out there. If they can't put their finger on it and they have these innate senses about them, usually, and y'all women, y'all in the chat, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, usually women start digging. Women start asking multiple questions all the time. Like, yo, what is something is about this person? Let me find out. They generally ask the guy they are with, whether it's their husband, with their fiance, with their boyfriend. They generally ask all the questions just to cross their own T's and dot the I. Now, we do understand there's certain types of men, just like there's certain type of women. A lot of women say, hey, I overthink things. And that's fine too. That is fine. So now moving forward, after the stream was ended, we had the conversation, we moved on. Come to find out, an ex on TikTok speaks out and said, hey, this guy is not who he say he is. The stuff that he says on the show is all lies. When he made the comment about, hey, babe, I can pull out 100K out my pocket, out from the bank. Can you? The ex-girlfriend came out of her mouth and said, hey, you know what? This is not true. When she had brought multiple receipts up and down her TikTok, and I see you, sweetheart. You're in the back. I see you. Just give a thumbs up to make sure you can hear me. So when all this went down, she was showing receipts after receipts. She even said, hey, if you have any questions, because I was going to keep quiet about it, but some other people's reaching out and I had other things to say. So let me voice my opinion. So I was going to go ahead and review everything and give her my opinion about this. But since the lovely lady just graciously joined my panel, and I appreciate her dearly for doing this, so we're going ahead and bring her up and we're going to have our own interview. And again, if y'all have questions, comments, concerns, we know how we do. Open perspective is across the board. Definitely bring it on in. So without further ado, the young lady, the ex of the guy that came on, had a lot to say. So we're gonna have the conversation. Hey, lady, how you doing?
I'm holding on.
Oh man, I saw this and I have like so many questions because here in the Gray Pill podcast, right, we're all about everything's not black and white. There's gray in the middle. And the first question I had was, it's like, okay, if I make like I'm the broken busy guy, right? I'm the 9 to 5 guy. I have to save up my checks from time to time, like, hey, let's go ahead and handle this business and plan my day accordingly. And I'm sitting here like, if a guy, for me personally, if a guy is like, I make 100K, or because I know plumbers, I got friends and buddies like 65K, 80K, they're saving up their money, they're banking, they're doing their thing. If a guy can easily come out their mouth and say, you know what, I can easily pull out 100K out my pocket. Why am I on a dating show with random people that, like, I have the game, he looking like a clean cut brother, he can go out and pull any woman. I'm not saying he's God gift every woman, but why is this particular person is there? So it's like, okay, everybody, need more options. Maybe it's the social media. Okay, fine. Then there was some other stuff he's saying. My co-host, shout out to Classic Ruby, she was like, it was just a vibe he was giving. And that was like a little bit back and forth because you pretty much said the same thing. People in your comments were saying the same thing. Like, it was the vibe he was giving. It was some kind of sense that he was giving, like turning women off. And me and my male co-host was like, well, he didn't say anything. He just, he's going to court. He was giving the same energy, giving back. Right. And I checked your TikTok, and like, I'm gonna be honest, I was gonna be fair on both sides because there was some things that you were saying way down, like texting here and showing this, and I was like, who was lying? Because he was saying his side of the story, you're saying your side of the story. So we'll leave it like that. So if you don't mind introducing yourself, and we can take it from there.
Okay, so y'all seen my TikTok. It's Pretty Girl Glaze. It took off on World Star. It took off on Twitter, and we met online, and that's just kind of how he meets women. I don't know. I've met a lot of them. So when I posted this video, I never thought it would get like the views that it got or take off the way it did. And then it just, like, I opened my phone and it did. And I was like, wow. So multiple women reached out to me with the same story, like similar, but even worse than me. So that's just kind of how that happened. And everyone's like, well, story time. Tell me what happened. And then I was only going to do 3 parts. I didn't want to do a 50-part series. Just bringing awareness to women because dating online is very scary.
It is.
And it was a big consequence for me. I don't go out. I'm a single mom. I work 2 jobs. So it's like, where am I going to find a man? That's what I was thinking when I went online. So that's just kind of what happened. And it just kind of took off. It went back and forth. He didn't really have too much on me. All he had was a picture of him, me, and the kids. And he posted that without my permission. So that got the mom in me really, really angry.
Okay. Those are your kids that he posted.
My kids that he posted without my permission. It got taken down twice. And he just kept reposting it. He doesn't really have anything on me. He'll post a screenshot of text messages and crop out what he doesn't want to show to flip the narrative and the story. He is very, very good at creating stories in his head. Like, he's up at midnight, 2, 3 in the morning, and you wake up and you're like, what are you doing? And it's because he's creating stories in his head. He's going through your phone. He's connecting your phone to his laptop. It's just nonstop. He's got to know where you're at all times.
Okay, so let's start back to the beginning. So the first question is, so we saw the dating show. It was like less than a week ago. So what's the time frame you and this gentleman was dating?
So it had to be from August and then 3 months on because I know we broke up before December.
Okay, so it was just not too long ago from the dating show.
Right.
Okay, and you said in the TikTok video y'all was dating about, I guess, like 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can walk us through the red flags for you because you mentioned red flags.
Okay. So it is a little bit hard to talk about because I feel like it's still scary. I kind of feel like he's still going to try to retaliate after this. But so I guess when I first met him, it moved fast, but I'm 30 years old. And at this point, I'm like, I could be with someone for 8 years and nothing's gonna happen too, you know? So
Right.
I don't know. I guess I've been through things where I feel a little bit different. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just go with the flow. Not a lot of guys really want to take it at your pace nowadays. Sometimes they just want to take years to even make you their girlfriend. So it kind of just happened that way. And he said he had a friend here in Arizona because he was in New Mexico at the time. He said he had a friend here in
Working in New
Arizona.
Mexico?
Huh?
He was working in New Mexico?
Yeah, that's where he said
Okay.
he lived at and he was working at the
Okay.
time. So when I met him online, he was like, oh, I have a friend there. I was just there this past weekend. Can I come this weekend? And I was like, well, if everything goes well during the week, we'll see how it goes. So he came down and his plan was to end up moving down here with his friend. And I don't even know if that friend was real because
Okay.
at the end of the day, he just ended up with me from then on, which was a mistake of mine because I allowed it. And then so he was with me 24/7. I couldn't leave his sight. So I was like, okay, well, my mom invited me for dinner. We're Mexican. We're very, we always have dinners. So I was like, if it's going this way, let's go. You'll meet him. So he dressed in a cowboy hat and he had, I don't know, that's his wardrobe. He had it. Then he went and posted that my family made him dress like that, or he dressed like that for me. So if you're watching that, that's not true. That's the wardrobe he uses in every relationship, and I can confirm that.
Okay.
So it kind of went from there, and my mom met him, and she was like, no. She didn't tell me in front of him. She waited till he left. He got in the car. I stayed behind for like 2 minutes. And she's like, I can see something in that guy's eyes that is evil. And I was like,
Wow.
what do you mean, mom? Because besides the father of my kids, she hadn't met any other boyfriend or anything like that. So I was like, what do you mean, mom? She's like, I don't know how to explain it, but there's something there and it doesn't tell me you're safe. And so I started to get anxious, because then I started to think, well, dang, I really don't know this guy. Right.
Hmm.
So it kind of started there, and then it got really bad when I would be at work and I would share my location with him. I had nothing to hide. So I was at work, sharing my location. I work by a window. So if I get up and walk around, he's automatically blowing up my phone, FaceTiming me because he wants to see my surroundings and what's behind me. He's like, who are you messing with at work? What are you doing behind my back? Why is your location moving? He
And
has
this is recent, like within the first month, a week of him
Yeah, the
text.
first month, yeah. At
Okay.
first, he's a really, really good talker. He's I don't want to say too much because it's gonna come back on me, but he's been in a place where all you do is read, so he knows how to speak. He's very intelligent, I can tell you that.
Okay.
So he got me that way, and it's just having to know my location. I couldn't even stop at a stop sign because he's FaceTiming me, and it just happened to be every story with the X, different location, different state, same story.
Hmm.
And it just got worse after that.
Okay. Let me go through the comments real quick because some people's giving some good suggestions.
Yeah.
Shout out to Leslie. I have to say thank you to her because about a year back, somehow we kind of locked into the conversation and the topic and did a deep dive on narcissists and narcissism trait and dark triads. That may be something you need to look into to do your homework. She also suggested, put a restraining order on them. So
Done.
I don't know. I don't know if you've done that, but you seem like you got a lot of evidence, the stuff I've seen on TikTok.
Yeah.
It might be the first way to go. If he's because, and this is just for the audience, a lot of people on the TikTok side, but people on YouTube don't know. According to her, she said that he put sugar in the tank. That's holding the conversation. The stalking, constantly harassing her to this point. So again, she showed all the receipts, but we're gonna have that conversation too.
Mhm.
And me just being a guy, because most guys be like, well, if you see these bad things or you see these
Right.
signs, why don't you just go ahead and just take and just just end it from there? Why would you just drag it out for like 2-3 months?
Yeah.
Now, for his end, before I let you answer that question, on his end, when I'm thinking like it was just one side of the story, like, hey, I went on a dating show and went left, people calling me, I lost my job, which I don't condone that for anybody to lose their job.
Right.
And my attitude with him was not just your money or success that you're claiming that you have to be on a show, but it's like you're on a platform to the point where it's all about gender wars, and outside of that bubble, like a show like a little extra clip like MTR's one, somebody else interviewed them, other content creators I mod for, like they're in this huge big gender war conversation where people the mansplaining, the woman bashing, the men bashing, the divesting. It's so much going abroad. And now it came to the point where now people's actually doing their homework on this guy and more information is coming out.
Yeah.
Even I have a shout out to Yanni too, because I don't agree with a lot of stuff she said. We pretty much watched the same thing. And when she was like, hey, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm showing, and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So your thoughts on if you want to tell a story about the sugar and tank and everything else?
Okay. So I guess we'll start with, I just posted a video right before this, before you reached out, but World Star Spend It, and the way they told the story was that I got him fired, that, I posted the video and I got him fired. One, I knew where he worked when we were together, but he doesn't stay in a job very long, just like he doesn't stay in a state for too long. So I don't know where he works now. So that's that. I would never condone to lose a job, because me as a single mom, if that were to happen to me, like, what am I going to do to feed my kids? So I would never condone that. Now, again, I am not the only one that's angry. I'm triggered, but there's a lot of exes that are angry. I spoke to one of them, and he actually got her fired. He called her job multiple times, her boss and her coworkers, and got her fired. And then what I think is happening here is he's mirroring everything from our stories. Like, because he put sugar in my gas tank when we broke up, and a tracker in my car, and an extra phone on record while I was working, he literally was super angry. And I said I had to come out with like $4,000 out of pocket to move apartments, so he didn't know where I lived. I had to get a whole new car, so he didn't know what I drive. And in his stories, I don't know if you hear his stories or you're watching his stories, but now all of a sudden he needs to move states because he doesn't feel safe. So he needs to come out with $3,900 out of pocket. He needed to get rid of his truck because everyone knew what he drove, and he was scared, so he needed to get rid of that. He mirrored my story. Now he's mirroring my friend's story, because he got her fired because he called her job multiple times. Now he's using that story and that narrative and using it as his platform. So that's kind of what happened there.
Oh wow. On the interview that he had, I saw a little bit of portion. I was gonna review that, because he was a little bit of stuff he was touching bases on the dating show. On the interview, he was saying that, hey, he's a God-fearing man, what the Lord, needs, what he expects from a woman, all this stuff. Now, the main thing was, I thought it was funny. Somebody said in your TikTok comment said, "Hey, do you have hairy arms?" So, what did you have hairy arms when he met you?
I did. I mean, it's not that bad. Sometimes I'll shave them.
Well, that was his turn off. That was his turn. According to him on the video, he said, "Hey, I never met anybody. I deal with women that don't have hairy arms. So obviously, you had some hair in your arms."
No, and I even became friends with the girl that he said that to. So that's the funny part.
Okay, that's crazy. Let me give a little shout out to the chat. Shout out to Leslie again. She says, "Jill, I agree. Again, if he's committing a crime with sugar in the tank, the stalking, definitely harassment, that's a lot. I'm going to encourage that for everybody else. If somebody going that level of it, even with guys, if you got a woman, pretty much, I know us guys, we think that physically we're stronger than women, and that's perfectly fine to have that kind of attitude and mentality. But there are some things that can kill you. You don't need force to take somebody out. Okay." Just think about that. If somebody can track you down, know your whereabouts, know your habits, just a good sense of your pattern. Like she's saying, hey, tracking your car, know when you get on and off of work. People can do some heinous things to you that can cost you your life. Okay. So think about that. If you're seeing signs like that, go ahead and get a restraining order, take it from there. If you have to go to the craziest link that she's saying now to relocate somewhere else, and she has children of her own, these are not his children. These are not his children. She has children of her own. For him as a grown man, for that level, it should be like, hi, bye. It doesn't work out. Let me move my way. You could be in your feelings by yourself, process them, move on. But that's a lot. Shout out to what's is in here. Dash, appreciate you. So I guess it said she does. Leslie says homosexual. Shout out to Vega. Vega said women's intuition. I agree. A lot of women have that third eye, and some ask a lot of questions, especially if that's their man and they're claiming each other. They're gonna ask a lot of questions to that person directly, like, hey, what's going on? Why are this is happening? So many things is like not connecting the dots. And if that guy can't answer them questions like 1, 2, 3, and guess what? They're going to ask more questions. Now they're going to do the FBI route, and something's going to pop up. I'm like, okay, this is not it. But I will say this, though. Once you get that tingle, start finding your exit strategy, because it's problematic. You don't know this guy like you think you do. Shout out to Leslie. I guess she's agreeing with Jay about if more it's more for documentation in case you have to, I guess, to pop the pistol. Yeah, it's a little bit different. There's levels to it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dash again, said he didn't follow on the restraining order, guys. So he did have restraining order?
I have 2 of them.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't because he's contacted multiple of the exes, and I have all the police files. I have all of the restraining order numbers. I have everything I need.
That's crazy. And this is the same state with any restraining orders
No.
that you're in?
California, Texas, Arizona. There's multiple women with the same exact case as me, and people are upset because I'm telling my story or that I'm doing it for the clout. I had a platform before I
I
even
seen
met
that.
him. Yeah, so even before these videos, I had a platform, and again, when I posted this, I didn't even think a lot. I didn't know there was people out there that went through the same exact story. Now, when I laugh, it's because I'm upset. Like I'm about to cry, right? Like I laugh and then I cry. So
Yes,
he's sitting there talking about, she's sitting there laughing in the comments. It's because I'm angry. I'm a mom and you're posting my kids online without my permission. Like, what do you expect from me?
that is crazy. I agree back again what Leslie said, like it's jail. Like if he's breaking it, report him as much time as you need and take it from there. That's a lot. Shout out to Leslie again. She says you're kind and respectful. You don't have to worry about your job. If you have another nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I agree. No, man, absolutely do not move a man into your house in less than a month with a
Mhm.
child in your home. I agree. You really got to vet properly, especially with children, your own safety. And you did the right thing early about the vetting part, because I say this a lot. A lot of people don't like that. If you're dating somebody and you got kids, even if it's just you and you have like a good family dynamic or just friends, just invite him over there, see how he interacts. Because on this
Yeah.
platform, we pretty much talk about narcissism, dark triad traits, because empathy is a big part of it. Gaslighting is a
Mhm.
big part of it. So if they're out there and they memorying and they just acting a fool, and it depends on how they interact with different personalities,
Yeah.
that's also a red flag too. So Mom
Mhm.
was right. Mom was
Yeah,
right.
no, she definitely was. And when I first met him at the time, they were with their dad. We do 50-50, so we'll change up the schedule. So they weren't around when he came. And so he took that narrative. I don't know if you've seen the TikTok, but he took that narrative and said, he posted the kids and said she lost custody and didn't try to get him back. My kids are with me right now. They're with me every day. So like it's just like it's not true, but even though I know it's not true, it hurts because those are my kids and I love them. So for people to start believing that I lost custody, and I can't even post my kids anymore, even if I wanted to on Instagram, because it's like he changes the narrative and it's so scary. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Welcome to the internet. That one of the things my co-host said just on, because we only knew his side of the story where he went on there and stuff got, I guess, went left for him. And my coach was like, well, when you have to be a little bit more aware. Pretty much same thing with you, even myself, even my and others. Like when we go put ourselves or expose ourselves online to a certain degree, we have to be very careful. I don't know if y'all meet on a dating app? That's what it
Yeah,
was.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met on Facebook dating, but he's on BLK, he's on Facebook dating, he's on Tinder. Like we have everything we need, it's just if he makes a move, then we have everything we need. And he claims to be reformed, and his last charge was in May of 2023. So,
Yeah, definitely stay on top of that. That's very problematic. Shout out to Leslie again, said he's a nut. Shout out to Dash. She says I'm another one of his exes. She's telling the truth. Wow. Wow. Shout out to AT, a scammer. He's a narcissist. Yeah, that's pretty much the signs I'm seeing, because a lot of stuff, the mirror and the gaslighting, lack of empathy is a big one. That's why I suggest people like, hey, we had interviewed Miss Deanna that was from Software Underbelly. She came on, her mom, the family, her husband, like she had like a rough, bad start of it. And thank God she didn't go the other way. She actually still just kept positive movement on it. So I suggest you stay on that too and do the same. Shout out to Jazz Adams. He makes up grand lies and runs with them. He is a habitual liar. Okay, appreciate you. Yvette Murray, Grey Pill. Hey, lady, appreciate you. Like your avatar. Thank you. Death Mage, what's going on, lady? So The girl's spidey senses were right. Yeah, mom's was actually accurate.
Mom, yeah.
Mom said, "Hey, I looked into your eye. This ain't it."
Yeah, and
This
at
is
first I was like, because she's very religious, so I was like, maybe it's just something that's not in her religion, like, but it's not. It wasn't. Absolutely, it was not.
yeah. Shout out to Jeff again said, I'm an X as well. All the X's just coming in. Yo.
And I didn't even expect your live. Okay, it was sent like 5 minutes before.
Yeah, I was gonna play for something else, and I was seeing this, and Yanni's. I have to give I really have to give Leslie her flowers because she pushed me onto the Yanni train on the platform, and I watched a little because we pretty much watch a little bit of some shows, and I don't agree with a lot of stuff she say. And then when she pulled up this, and I was like, "Are you serious?" We just did a group conversation about the relationship thing because I didn't like the fact that the dude lost his job. And then next thing I know, I see all this extra stuff. So now I'm like, I really don't even care if he lost his job, but it still sucks that he lost his job, So then now all these exes popping up everywhere. So I'm like, this is crazy. Again, this is why I say all the time, man. When you get on these live platforms and you get too comfortable with yourself, it is problematic. I get it. I don't know if there's a shirt, maybe his attitude. Ruby had a third eye on her head because she kept saying his ego. That's all she kept saying. She's like his ego, and all the other women was sensing that down the road. And this was a lot. Shout out to the Raging Tomato, also a friend of the Great Pill Podcast. She's saying, I think I need to hit rewind. I feel I missed a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. 30 minutes in. 30 minutes in. Yeah. Pretty much. And just give her a refresher for most people just coming in. A guy, I'm calling the Weapon X. I pretty much nicknamed him the plumber guy. So the plumber guy pretty much on a balloon popping show, Sarah, where they do kind of like speed datings, whatever. They have like a line of girls, opposite set come in, try to weed them out. Then they have a line of men come on, some women come on from the show. If a woman pops their balloon, they ask them why. They have like a little back and forth, not too much. It's like, hey, this is why I did this. And they move on. So with this particular gentleman, because that was like the only thing that went trending all over the place. Yeah, he's really a plumber, Vega, or was. It went viral from all over the place to the point where people was more shaming the women on there. And he got pretty much on this arc of, hey, these women, these particular black women got him and lost his job. And that's where the story. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know particularly because you can't point fingers and say this person lost your job. But a lot of us seen the space where people actually go out their way, doxing people, pulling out their personal information, doing this whole bunch of weird stuff, having people SWAT and raid their houses just because they don't like them. And I was like, this is not a good thing for us. I'm just losing his job. So what's going on? So we had the conversation, moved on, Sarah, and then next thing you know, between Yanni and myself, just like doing just a basic deep dive on this conversation. The lovely lady here, come to find out, he's more than what he seemed on a consistent level, not just a one-time offender, consistent. There's women in the chat saying, hey, me too, literally me too. So it's a lot.
Yeah, and I don't know why they spend it on saying I got him fired. For all I know, he quit. He started a GoFundMe. It has over $10,000. And he has multiple Instagram pages. All of a sudden, he's like, hey, pay me this amount of money to my Cash App and I'll shout you out. And then all of a sudden, he's saying it's fake. So I just want you guys to be careful with your money. And you don't have to take sides if you don't want to. If it's entertainment for you guys, that's okay. But the reason why I did it was for awareness. I look at it like, what if Ted Bundy had survivors and those survivors were able to save the next people that passed away? There's women on the news all the time in refrigerators, in like bags, and it's not only online dating, but that's just been my experience. But just be careful.
I agree. Just to make sure I don't miss anything. Jay said, welcome to all the exes. Yeah, welcome. I appreciate everybody for coming on through. Again, this is a very wild and unhinged story. So again, safety, this is pretty much solution-based channel over here. So just vet properly, safety, watch everybody with the fine-tooth comb as much as you can. Shout out to Sarah says, wait, is this an ex reunion? Sarah, ATS Scammer said he made me lose my job, so that's his karma. Fair. And I'm not never gonna knock you. Fair. Child, the exes are hopping out on nowhere. Man, I swear to you, Leslie, I swear to you, this is when you know you're not lying. And the fact that she has receipts, like receipts on top of receipts on her TikTok, all the links will be dropped below so everybody can go check it out. It is there. And it's the problem. I'm not gonna say with MTR, but this is where I have to give Yanni her tribute to this one, because you'll see one thing, right? And then you be like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just do the basic homework, because it didn't take much for me. When this came up, we just had a group conversation Tuesday night, and this came up on my algorithm. And matter of fact, it started with my niece because it popped up on Facebook. Just a little bit of homework, and just take it from there. Because I was more like the women he was arguing with. I was like, oh, these women have been on the show multiple times, so maybe they're doing the engagement or the clickbait thing, how it goes. But no, again, you have actual real people here, like Miss Pretty Girl Glaze, that's been through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Les again, says, okay, we read that one. So I wonder what the guy Wes, I think was his name. Hey, Wes gonna get an earful next Tuesday. But again, we were just to be fair, mate, we were just on the conversation of the dating, how everything went, and then the aftermath of this gentleman. So more has come up, so he will get updated on that one. But I'm sure he's gonna say the same thing I'm saying. It sucked that it's happened. Everybody just need to be a little bit more better prepared. I personally appreciate, I'm sure he will too, just for the awareness of it is, because everybody need to be safe on all fronts. Okay, so I think he would go with that route. Jasmine Adams again says she has nothing to do with it. Don't even know where he works. Fair enough. Vega says, is he really a plumber? He was, from what he said he was. He was showing like I think on his TikTok where he was doing plumbing.
Yeah.
So he was showing that.
That was
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I saw him. I took him one time to work when we were together, but I don't remember. It was all the way in another city that was like 30, 40 minutes away. And then he was studying. He was a journeyman when I was with him, and then he was studying to get his license. So I don't know if that happened. I gave him his props though. When I'm in my video, I said, yes, he's licensed. I'm nobody to knock anybody, and that's why I said I'm nobody to make him lose his job. But things do come around, and obviously he made someone else lose their job, and I don't know, that just happened.
Silly question. Now, in his interview, since all the exes is popping up, the girl he walked off with on the date, did she reach out to you also? Because he had some words about her. And then NTR, yeah.
I did see a lot of the back and forth. Everybody sends me everything, so I did see a lot of the back and forth of him going back and forth with all of the girls that were on the show. She seems very sweet. It doesn't look like they walked off together. It looks like she gave her Instagram or her number to somebody else before the show ended, and he kind of gave her that look like, oh, that's how it's gonna be. And he posted a video, telling everybody what happened too. And I guess she might have noticed it right then and there. Like, I just met you, and you're acting.
Yeah, we're dating.
Towards me.
Yeah, we're dating.
Right. We didn't even date. I just matched with you 5 minutes ago. That's how it was for them.
It's not that deep. We're dating. If obviously you probably have, I'm sure he probably have like everybody else some DMs and stuff on the ready to go just in case. Again, I'm gonna go on by the stuff he was saying. So he was saying like, hey, if it doesn't work out, whatever. So that's the same energy he should need to keep. Shout out to Jocelyn. I like your avatar. Says, hi, I'm Drip Drop, Joe's the life he almost took. Are you serious?
Yeah, but that's not my story to tell. That's why I didn't, bring it up. I did do a TikTok. I did not put her name in it because I said whatever you don't feel comfortable with. Again, that's why I said we have paperwork on that. He just runs every time he's contacted by the authorities. So
fair enough. ATS, a scammer, says he stole my phone and harassed all my family, friends, and coworkers. Vandalized my home, got all my banking information, stole from my son, even a kid, and this God-fearing man who claims to help kids. No, jeez. Hey Leslie, if you can't hit up Yanni, because this is a lot right here, man. Extra say hit the like and share button. I appreciate y'all guys. Again, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, definitely hit the all bell notification. It helps out tremendously. Scammer also says he would only work a couple of days and quit due to saying tracking our location was too much and making him feel like he's crazy. He's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Yeah, he need to get that treated like ASAP. Leslie says, right, he could be lying. He could be. Again, she has all the receipts on her end. We have other women making claims up this too. I'm sure they have receipts of that. We're only going by his word, but I haven't seen the receipts, just the story he's telling. Again, that's why I say you need to do your homework. I wouldn't take nobody's word for anything, especially on YouTube. And she said it best. If it's just entertainment, take it as entertainment. If it's not, go with it.
You have to be careful because he does falsify documents. He posted one on his story stating that he's suing all the TikTokers and other people for $13,000, and it is copy and pasted. The letter format is not correct, and he signed it sincerely, Aaron. A paper like that needs to be served by a lawyer and written by somebody else other than himself. So if he's threatening you guys, letting you know that he's gonna sue you, unless he's actually serving you, don't be scared of him.
Yeah, I agree too, because there was a situation with there was a Daisy Chin dated some guy from Fresh and Fit. That was like the most worstest podcast. For ladies, never go on that podcast. If you go on that podcast, you lose our respect for me. We will like, hey, why? But never go on that podcast. But she dated a guy there. It went left where she actually got pregnant by the guy. They knew they was having unprotected sex, so of course 1 + 1 = 2. I mean, extra baby. And he denied her, played like the MIA game, was dismissing her, ignoring her, and then come to find out other bigger platforms like Aber and Preach, Trilogic, everybody was talking, interviewer, and then they was like claiming that she was an escort just off the rip, saying that she's lying off the rip, and every time anybody says something about her, she was just bringing up receipts, and it was like, that's a lie, this lie, she was bringing up receipts, but on the other end, nobody can bring up receipts about anything until like how you and the ladies here in the chat, a friend of mine who actually is an escort was like, no, she's not an escort. I'm an escort. And you, sir, did this with me. And she had like a whole format of documents on her. So that will have a conversation for next time with me and her about that one. But yeah, you got to be very careful. Have your receipts ready. Shout out to Raging Tomato. Raging Tomato says, you didn't tell me I needed some popcorn for it. Hey, I didn't know neither.
I didn't know it was coming.
I saw something. I was like, I said, somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. And you making as much money as you are, and you clean cut, and you're coming to a dating podcast. That was suspicious, number one. But I, at the same time, I had to put a pass on it because, like, I get it. Maybe some guy, just like some women, like, hey, you know what? I'm too busy to look for somebody. Let me go here. But at the same time, I'm like, why would you go 3-4 hours out your way to prep and go on a dating show when you could literally go out your door, walk around the block, and pick up somebody? You can go to a coffee shop. You can go to the mall. You go to a bookstore. If you got all the status, everything that you're saying that he's claiming, again, this is his words. Right. You can easily pull out $100K out of his pocket. Why are you going on a dating show? And we had that conversation, so now here we are. So no, I think I need popcorn too, extra butter.
I'm like, but can he?
Hey, y'all ladies know him better than I do. I'm not dating him or wasn't dating him. Shout out to Daz. We all have our receipts. Okay. I appreciate that because again, this with that majority of the male gender spaces and the sexist spaces out there via YouTube, that's their main thing. Like, oh, these women are talking smack. All they do is run their mouth. They don't know anything. So now you have receipt. That is fine. Again, this gentleman, nobody's not asking the real questions. Everybody just needs to ask the real questions. Shout out to Leslie says, Will keep saying he was sassy.
I heard that too.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see the sassiness except for what Ruby was explaining. She said the ego and the clapback, because Wes was saying he was giving the energy, he was matching energy with the ladies. And Ruby said no, the way he was being very confrontational with them, that appeared sassy and an ego. And a lot of people didn't catch that. And then the fact that you and other ladies know him, then it matches up.
The videos he posted on his Instagram further on from the show, everybody's starting to catch on. And when he's angry, he's not scripted. So when he's angry, his true colors come out. So he's going on live angry, or he's angry that we're posting our sides of the story, and he doesn't have time to script. He doesn't have time to prep. So everybody's starting to see his true colors now. On his GoFundMe, he raised it and he put raising money for humanitarian work, to help kids in need, veterans and single moms. And then he went and made another post stating, "Thank you for your support. I'm going to throw a big party with VIP section, popping bottles, and with your money, I'm going to be," what did he say? "Merchandise and create content." But that's not what he said when he created
Oh
his.
no, no. That's I'm gonna look into that, and we're petty over here. So, because I know, and shout out to MTR since they had the incident by the brick lady, and he was investigating all that, and she got her, actually she got charged, and her GoFundMe got taken down. We're gonna look into that too. So I have friends in this end too, so we're gonna definitely look into that. I will have no life for that situation. So there you go. What else up there? Shout out to Yvette said, "I'm sorry this happened to you, ladies." Yeah, I am too. This is very, 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 very a lot. Shout out to Army Vet says, "I am late." Yeah, we're just getting into it, man. Who else do we have out here? Shout out to Miss Scammer again. That's 100K is a lie. We want proof of his termination letter by law, even being employed as a licensed plumber. If you're contracted with an employer, the employer still has to give a termination letter. Okay. I didn't know that. Thank you for that information. Appreciate that. Shout out to Marcus. Marcus says, "I mean, if a guy has a six figure he can pull out the bank, shouldn't stop a person from experiencing a dating opportunity on a platform." You're 100% right. It shouldn't stop you at all. Me personally, again, I'm going to speak from my perspective with this one. Same conversation last time. I just think it was for me, it's a red flag for a person to, like, if you have that much money to go on a that type of dating show. It's not like the ones that we've seen before. Like, there's actually real producers, there's real lawyers, there's people in there will have like NDA agreements, stuff lined up and signed for you. So just in case they're helping themselves and they're helping you, just in case stuff goes left. I'll give an example. 90 Day Fiance is one. Love is Blind is another one. These people go on these shows, and when stuff goes left, guess what? The main two co-hosts, the husband and wife, they will call you out during the reunion. I've seen it happen. But also, everybody have their T's and I's crossed just on legalities process. So we seen, let's say for example, tomorrow I have like a dating show. I have no papers or nothing to sign. Say, hey, well, you can't say this, you can't say that. There's no agreements. Do whatever you want. Even the way he not saying making a bad thing, but even when he had like a little bit of a spat with one of the ladies, and the main host was like, "Okay, guys, okay." There's nothing she could have done if the woman physically assaulted him or he physically assaulted her. There's nothing could have been done because they just openly had these girls on there, just like shout out to Fresh and Fit. They have them on, stuff pops off. You don't never see no cops come. You don't never see no lawyers in there. Just stuff happens. So that's my input on that one.
Background checks need to be ran because I feel like she just put a whole bunch of people in danger who didn't even know anything about it. So I don't know what's going to happen with the show. I don't know if people are going to say something about it, but just be careful.
Yeah, I think they're gonna still have their show because again, it's just a dating show. I just think, me personally, I just think they just need to screen a little bit better just in case, because if they're bringing women onto the show to make them feel more comfortable, at least have some kind of vetting process. Again, Love is Blind, some other dating shows done it before, but you can't really protect them thus far to like, oh well, this guy just turned out to be like a narcissist or a psycho. Like, there's no, you can go that far down the road, but just as long as they're not violent, as long as they're not outbursts, as long as they have like a deep understanding, like, hey, it's a dating show, this is what's going to happen. Just give like a little bit basis of it and take it from there. That's what I would say. So
it's entertaining. So
yeah, it's entertaining. I never seen the show. I mod for a guy, 100K subscriber, all that good stuff, and he again locked onto that, and I just mod for him, and that's how I seen it. I didn't really care too much about it because a lot of these, for me personally, a lot of these dating shows like just for engagement, because a lot of women's been on there repetitively a lot, and then they like to clip stuff, do shorts and do thumbnails, and that's fine. That's their niche. That's their thing to get the clicks and views. That's fine. But originally, just be very careful what you need to do. Shout out to Leslie. Leslie says, but this guy has a record. Yes, and that's part of vetting. Look that up. Like, I'm sure a lot of women don't want a guy. I'm sure the record should be like no-nos, like, hey, assaults multiple times, vandalism, all this good stuff. If it's something like that on a consistent level, and it's like years, decades down the line, okay. But if it's something consistent repeatedly, like these ladies saying in the chat, Miss Pretty Girl Glaze is saying, like, hey, 3 states down the road, consistently. vandalism, stealing from one's son, stealing from here, taking people. That's pretty much fraud in itself. Stealing somebody's personal information.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
It is.
Shout out to Marcus. Marcus says again, I remember the question I made was they needed to bring women one at a time. So yeah, that was a suggestion from last time. Bring men one at a time. So it won't be a little bit like together because most people feel like it was like more like a girls group from there. But looking at the long term now,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like every woman had the same third eye on their forehead.
Yeah.
Ruby had it. The younger lady here, Ms. Glaze had it. Women in chat had it. There we go. So it can't be wrong from there. Get to the last one. Shout out to New York. Google asks, where is his ex talking about him? X is right here. And the X is in the chat on New York. All of them. They came through.
Probably just got here.
Yes. Now I was going to, if you want to add anything to the conversation, I was going to go and review the interview that he had with, I guess, a husband and wife dynamic. If you want to stay on for that one, you're more than welcome. I really can't think of anything else as far as like questions to ask you because again, you have all the receipts about it, so you're more than welcome to stay for that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think all I really had to add was just be careful with online dating. I know it's gonna come back on me somehow. He's gonna try to, I don't know what he's gonna try to do, but the only ammo he has against me is my kids. So I guess we'll see where that goes. And yeah, he painted himself to look like a saint. I watched the video with the husband and wife, and they're amazing. They had nothing to do. They didn't know him. They didn't know me at the time. They didn't even see my TikToks. So no disrespect against them. They were really nice. Just watch him in the video, and you see how scripted he is. That's all I have to say.
Fair enough. I definitely appreciate it, lady. And again, thank you for answering any questions. Again, if anybody have questions in the chat, please bring them up. I'm going to leave her link below. It has all the receipts there, and she's open to like, hey, if you got questions, definitely make the comments and don't, private, make it public, make the comments right there, your questions for her. She will drop everything right there for you. A lot of women saying, again, just to rinse and repeat this, hey, the guy's not claiming to what he's appeared to be. Clearly, he doesn't have a job. He bouncing from state to state. He has a consistent record of how he is. He has a temper problem. This is what's everything been said. These are receipts on the TikTok on Ms. Glazin. Other women here has in the chat has receipts of this too. So I'm just going to urge everybody to just be very careful who you idolize on shows, even if who you demean to at the same time. So be very careful of that. All right. So thank you again, Ms. Glaze. I appreciate you very much. If you have anything, you're more than welcome. Hit the chat and, and voice your opinions and concerns.
I'll just be in the chat.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is very surprising, and I appreciate her for coming on through for that conversation. I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that. I was just done pretty much just cam down, have my little avatar up there, and just like react to both. Because again, when I saw her on her TikTok, and I'm scrolling further down the pipeline, I'm like, okay. He's saying that he doesn't want promiscuous women, but she is a promiscuous woman. Like she's she's doing some stuff that most guys would deem as a red flag, especially on social media, right? Some girls like to look cute, but then most guys like, nah, that look like a thought to me. Most girls like, hey, let me do some makeup. Then most guys like, hey, that look like the 304 to me. So if he wants these type of women, again, promiscuous, all the women except for one, the woman in the whites on the far end, the second one that popped the balloon, she was close for me. Most for his opinion, he said promiscuous. She looked at very conservative, very promiscuous, and she was just very soft-spoken and chill. So I'm like, why wouldn't that be the one you go for, right? But then you go all the way down the line. No disrespect to the lady, I think they're very lovely. You had some with like the shorter dresses, the shorter skirts, the high heels, some extra little skin, right? So I'm like, okay, well, clearly further line you go, these is not the women for you because you're saying that they are promiscuous. So now I'm confused. I'm very, 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 very confused. Shout out to Jay the Format. Jay the Format said, looking forward to watching them. Yeah, man, it's a lot. I'm gonna definitely drop the link and anything below. Shout out to Scammer again. Ladies, please stay far away. None of his relationships have lasted more than 2-3 months because of how controlling, manipulative, and narcissistic he is. His answer forever relationship is we cheated. Everybody cheated, huh? Shout out to New York. But he was bashing sisters. I don't know. I'm gonna get to the interview because that's the only time he actually did like more of a deep dive. MTR. I actually reached out to him when we did the first group one. I tagged him. I think I followed him, but then when I saw her stuff with it, with the receipts, I just instantly unfollowed him. So I was like, I don't want that. We're good. Like we're not friends. It's fine. But he was reached out to by myself. He was tagged. MTR reached out to him for like a conversation. I don't know what kind of conversations they would have had, but that's pretty much how it went. So we're gonna go ahead and share the video of the interview. Again, I appreciate everybody for coming on through. Okay, here it is. No, you don't need to, New York. You don't need to. All right, give me one moment so I can open this up. And no, I'm not paying $18. I just had a conversation with the nice young lady.
The one and only.
Just had a conversation with a nice young lady up here. I'm broke and busy. There you go. This has been a very, very interesting day, to say the least. Jasmine says, like we all line up. Yeah, y'all are different people, different individuals. As far as on the timeline, I don't know if I would say bashing sisters. If you mean for the date show, no, he wasn't dating bashing anybody on the show. And this is me. I know you like engaging with the chat. I appreciate you for that. I guess New York was pretty much just asking just in general. The only conversations pretty much, I guess, sisters were mentioned, maybe here. I don't know. We're about to find out. Already responded to that. Leslie said narcissists revealed themselves within 3 months. You know what? I have to challenge you on that, Leslie, because the more I want to deep dive on it, I think, and this is what I say when it comes to narcissists, right? Not a license, not a doctor on that, but this is what I have to say on this, right? All these stuff that I have seen, read, and watched with actual license doctors and physicians that talked about narcissists and narcissist trait. One in particular, Dr. Romney, she says you won't know until it's too late, meaning the worst of worst can happen to you when a narcissist come and expose themselves, so to speak. Now, she gave a timeline, a year to 2 years. Now, I would challenge the 3 months only because your boundaries. If you have your own personal boundaries up, like what you want to tolerate, we'll use the kids. We'll drop it down. If you have a child or children and they're not interacting with your children a certain way, that could be a red flag. Doesn't mean they're narcissists, but that's a red flag. You have boundaries. Lack of empathy, meaning like, hey, something happened to me at work today, something happened to me in my life. Generally, women like, not saying talk or gospel out, but a lot of women like to conversate and share themselves openly with their male counterpart. If the male is like very dismissive and just like combative, just being gaslight, just on basic day-to-day stuff, you're talking about yourself, that's another red flag. Lack of empathy, gaslighting. If you take them out, like say Miss Glaze said here, like, hey, I took him out to meet my mom. Like, hey, if we're gonna go all into a relationship, I'm grown, I don't have time for games, let's do this. And he got interacted with her family, and mama said, hey, I see your eyes. I see the demons in your eyes. This is a no. That could be another red flag. How you interact with other people. Okay. Lack of empathy for me is a big one. Gaslighting is another one. I'm good with, I like some sarcastic women out there. I love some cheeky women out there. I'm fine with that. But again, the lack of empathy, the gaslighting, the disrespect on your personal boundaries. Once you start breaking boundaries and crossing boundaries, and also for women and men, if you allow these people to do this, then you are falling into the trap. Once they break a boundary, question it, look at it. But if it's another boundary broken and you still allow them to do it, and a third boundary, then a fourth boundary, you're already stuck. Just because the guy's cute, just because the guy got some money, just because the guy's doing whatever, same thing, men. Just because the lady's giving you the best box ever, just because the lady doing some stuff strange and whatever in the bedroom and make your fantasies come true, doesn't mean they're the best person for you. So you got to have like a good little balance about it, but also have a understanding the conversation. Okay. Shout out to Poppy Blanco, says, hey yo, what's good, family? A lot, Poppy. A lot. Remember Miss Cheeks? I feel like this is a whole other Miss Cheeks situation all over again. Shout out to New York, says, like shopping the Dollar Tree looking for a Birkin bag. You get you know what? I'm not gonna engage with that one, but I understand what you're saying. Shout out to Army, says listen, great police. I appreciate that name, man. I'm trying to find like a cool like slang, a saying or whatever. People got like what the Bambino Nation and what is the Teen Fatties, and there's like the MT Army. I'm trying to find like a little cool name. I don't want to be the Army. I was thinking about the GP League because it seemed like everybody just came on in to voice their opinions and share their perspective. So we might be a league here. I think we are a league. Everybody go their separate ways until the conversations have to come in. Then I think we're a league. I think we're the GP League. I don't know. Said, how's everybody doing today? We're doing good. We're doing good. Shout out to Scammer, says, we seen that lack of empathy, but he becomes so controlling and pumps fear into you and consistently excuses you to the point where, well, see, that's two things right there, right? We'll put the lack of the empathy part away. You said he becomes, because again, Miss Scammer, I don't know your life. I really don't. So I don't want to project on you, but I would say this just in general. If we're saying a person is being controlling and pumping fear into you, immediately get out. I don't know what the situation other people in, if they're living, if they got to the point they're living into your home, and maybe shout out to Deanna, she can kind of give her experience to this because she actually was living this through with her mom and then with her actual husband that's like a bona fide narcissist and the stuff that she went through. If you're living through this type of experience, if you got to a point where this gentleman is living with you, start finding a safe exit strategy off the rip. Okay, I've said it for myself. I don't care if I have to sleep in my car. If I need my peace, I just need to get out. I need to find a safe strategy from that and take it from there. There's levels to it. Sometimes you have to be patient. Sometimes to have time for it. I think I made a comment on Yanni's platform when she was talking about certain situations about dangers and stuff. I had a friend I posted on the community tab where I used to talk to her. I used to preach to her where in my mind, and I'm hearing, I say, hey, this is an F boy. He's no good. He's no good. But she's a very gullible person. She's the nicest person you ever meet. If you ask her for a ride, she would do it. If you ask for anything for her, she would just go out her way and do it. And it literally cost her life. It cost her her life. It hit on it was like the 5 o'clock news in North Carolina to where she let stranger in her home where it became this guy was a roommate. She had the car, she had all the resources. He wanted to use her vehicle to go out and to drive to go see his ex or whatever the reason was. She said no. The fact that she said no, he became instantly violent. He beat on her, he put her in the closet and left her for there. All right. And only people knew and heard about it was the neighbors because they knew that she was that type of person. They reached out. And that's when the cops came. He didn't get far and he pretty much told his side of the story. He didn't lie. He was like, okay, he got caught. And that was it. So the other one says consistently accusing you to the point where you start to believe it. That's gaslighting. That's literally telling you about your reality. That's gaslighting 101. I was going to make some time and give like 2 examples on another video, but we'll talk about that down the road as far as gaslighting, but that's gaslighting. If somebody telling you, like, example, the cheating, right? Hey, I caught you. What are you doing today? Why were you out today? Why are you going a little bit too long? It only take you 5 minutes to go get a gallon of milk. Oh, well, I saw Uncle Sue, little Betty. Okay, fine. You let that go. Now it becomes a habit. Oh, why are you going out long? You saying you're going to get this? The store's around the corner. What happened? Like I'm waiting on you. We're supposed to eat. I went out my way to try to cook. I went out my way and got all this stuff ready for you. What's going on? It's you went from 5 minutes to 20 minutes, from 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Oh, well, you know what this thing is? Then they'll switch it on you. Well, why you always bother me? Why you always chastising me? I just said I was going out to the store. You don't believe me? What's going on with you? Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. Okay, that's a little form of gaslighting. All right. So we see little signs like that, that combativeness. You have to watch that. Be very, very careful. All right, we're gonna go to chat and go straight back to the video. Appreciate everybody coming on through. Bobby said, "What's going on, Marcus?" Miss Scammer says he forces himself into our homes like Lily. Hey, we got to bring back the narcissist conversation again because we got to do some rehashing. So we will have that conversation again just to break all the levels down to it. Maybe we might do like a whole potluck. Everybody contribute, put in, and then we'll reach out to Dr. Rami and bring her on. And we'll have a conversation so people can have a good understanding. Because Dr. Rami is very straightforward with it. Like, look, if you see a sign, and y'all women very intuitive with a lot of situations, it's a no. It's a no. Cut all ties and run. Don't let them get that close to moving into your home, having a copy of your key of your house, having a copy of a key to your vehicle, nothing like that. Like the woman just said, the man borrowed her car just to get to work. She's like, okay, well, there's my boyfriend working. You let him use the car. The man putting sugar in the tank. Who doing that? You messing up both of us. If I got a girlfriend, she got a car, and I don't have a car, and she's let me get to work so I can save my money to where I need to go, why am I messing up a good thing? Like, I can see if I don't like her, like, oh, man, I don't stand her today. Like, that's part of the relationship. You just gotta have the moments. So shout out to New York. New York said, glad my mom raised me to be a strong female. And don't forget New York and an independent woman. I know you, New York. You're a strong, independent woman. But also that could be a downfall for these spaces. So be very careful. Be very, very careful. So we will get straight to the video.
Nicknamed Weapon X, but his real name is Aaron. Aaron, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, big dog. Go ahead.
What's going on, man? It's Mr. Not Qualified, aka Weapon X.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
inheriting that name.
All right. I got to say this one because I know New York last time laughed at his name and said, hey, his name funny. He calls himself Weapon X. Okay. You're going to think it's still more corny, New York. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. The name Weapon X is from a comic book character, Wolverine, who goes by also Weapon X. All right. So it's a mutant from X-Men, the comic book / the cartoon / the movie. If anybody's seen any Wolverine movie out there, any X-Men shows, whatever, that's where the name came from. Okay. He's also called Logan, Wolverine, and also Weapon X. So that's where he got the name from. Okay. And I have to research that. That's just part of the geek history when it comes to comics. So there you go, New York.
And I'm gonna carry the torch for you, man.
Sir. That's what I'm talking
Thanks for having me on here.
Hey, man, you the first ever interview I've ever done in my content creator life. So it's an honor that you even responded to us and you even wanted to have a conversation, because at the end of the day, we just some random people on the internet. You feel me? So I appreciate you. Is there anything you want to shout out? Anything before we get started?
It's just a profound pleasure being on here. Thank you to all my fans, everybody defending me in my comments, going hard for me, man. I really appreciate y'all. I love y'all. These t-shirts are coming soon.
Yes,
Stay
sir.
tuned to my Instagram at very handsome with 2 Y's, VERYY_handsome. Stay in tune with my story. It's a lot of cloud chasing going on. Certain topics I won't address, certain topics I will address. And today we're gonna keep it raw and uncut like I always do, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, when he says clout chasing going on, I don't know what he mean by that, because this is what I said earlier. If you're going on a dating show, and where we are now, I say maybe 3 years, and I'm talking about like Fresh and Fit, MTR, Kevin Samuels, podcast, Tomfoolery, Brittany Simone. There's some others too out there, but these are ones that's like If it's viral and trending and it's about relationships, they will talk about it. They will have these conversations. They might even reach out to you and invite you on. Like again, MTR's one. He invited the brother on to have a conversation because this is a viral moment. They have that content brain. Okay, it's not a bad thing, but just to answer his questions, like everybody, the clout. I don't know what clout they're getting, but that's pretty much what's going to happen. If you go on a male dating show, relationship show, anything like that, it's like the ones I just listed, for example. People's going to clip, and people going to have their perspective of it, and they're going to go for that viral moment. It just happens, all right. But there's a good and bad side to it. It's like a double-edged sword. Are you using it for the good, or are you using it for the bad? Or are you using it to say, hey, I just want to speak the truth? Shout out to Duke of Dawn. He's one that's very hardcore, like, hey, let's find the truth, let's find the facts in that. You just have those type of people like that. So there you go. I'm just not very as entertaining and hyper as he is, but hey, I do what I can. So let's get back to the video.
Because I'm not no professional interviewer, I'm not no big dog. I had to get my questions typed out, you feel me, to make sure that I came correct. But
very professional.
At the end of the day, we also know that we got a lot of Arlette fans in here who are going to be sitting there waiting for your catch up with Arlette, and they fiending for it. So to make sure we don't step on Arlette's toes, I'm gonna try not to ask no questions that I know she gonna ask you on the catch up. That way you can, because you know you and her are gonna be sitting in the same room with the shorty, and you know I'd rather people get to see that exchange with you being able to call her out on her stuff, her being able to say her piece. But at the end of the day, the truth is gonna be the details that's in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yes, sir.
All right. At the end of the day, if you got anything you want to address out as we do this, bro, feel free to talk your talk. Talk how you want to talk. All right.
Okay.
All right. So my first question, it's a big question that was going on when the Pop the Balloon came out, right? It was one of the key things that you said was a deal breaker.
I look for a woman that's not promiscuous and has a career going for herself.
And it was that you do not want a promiscuous woman. Now, I know what promiscuous means. She know what promiscuous means. But for some reason, there's a lot of people that when you said that, the internet, they can't take it for what it is. Everybody got all these.
Oh, I take it for what it is. Because again, that's another reason why I just asked the question why he was up there. Not just the money factor that he openly said that he can easily get. It was that fact that he literally opened up with he didn't want a promiscuous woman. I'm just on the optics alone. We're just talking about the optics. Before these women open their mouth, just on optics, they don't look like promiscuous women, except for the one at the very end that was very conservatively dressed, and she was before she even spoke, just on look. So there we go.
Multiple meanings for it, but the only person that they wasn't asking who it really meant, what it really meant to, was you. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So yes. I want you to tell these people, what does promiscuous mean to Aaron? Go ahead, big dog.
Aaron, a promiscuous woman is a woman that possesses the Jezebel spirit. You know, if you're familiar with the Bible, you know about Jezebel, right, and the deception that she used and the evil things that she's done. Right. Promiscuous women nowadays, they tend to manipulate you all for selfish gain. Right. And in the midst of, you know, me falling in love with this promiscuous woman, she's having sexual, you know, throwing off my pH balance, and you know, your pH balance being affected, that affects my mood, my work ethic at work, a multitude of things that I just don't want inside of my realm.
Right. Okay. And so in a way, you would say that when that promiscuous spirit is in your vicinity, the household can't function, and that's why you can't allow that in your space. Basically, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Because if we look at history,
Right.
you know, there's been women that have conquered kingdoms
Mm-hmm.
with their manipulation tactics and with being promiscuous as well. So I don't like that at all. If a woman manifests any interest in another man, and I'm, you know, showing her that I'm interested in her wholeheartedly, then I don't want anything to do.
And so, how do you feel about it when we live in a day and age now when you call people out for promiscuity, right? Because a promiscuous person can be a man and it can be a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Men
Yes,
have the same dog tactics. That women do, and a lot of things that we call out on our channel is no matter whether you want to be on team men or team women, we all got some bad habits that are negatively affecting the dating game on both ends. So
yes,
what do you feel like to a woman who hears what you got to say about this and they try to throw it off on like, well, we can't be promiscuous over here, but what about what men do, rah rah rah, over what men say, how they operate, the tit for tat. How do you feel when a woman tries to bring that up? Like, what is your exchange with that?
I would like my exchange with that would be, man, me personally, I'm no saint whatsoever.
Right.
You know, I have been a promiscuous man myself, and it wasn't until I was able to see the damage that was done to the other individual. I didn't know anything about empathy whatsoever until, you know, this particular situation transpired.
Right.
Once I stepped out of the relationship, this woman suffered some life-changing things, you know, mentally, I would say. She lost her confidence and her self-esteem because of that. And now she indulges in relationships with low-value men. And honestly, I started caring, even though it's not my fault, with her proceeding on with her life, her indulging with them, that's not my fault. But I feel like I played a factor in that. By stepping out on her. So, and also what I've come to realize is not all women, but the promiscuous women, they are like cats. You know, you could count on one hand how many times have you seen a cat having sex.
Right.
But men, we're you know,
All right, what about now? Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. I think I know what the problem was. Somebody was calling me through the computer. That's why I kept getting interference. Somebody literally was calling me. All right, back to the show. Okay, appreciate it, Poppy. Somebody was calling me through the computer. That's why I kept getting cut off. Like I literally saw like a whole nother window pop up.
because I know the type of man that I am. The individuals around me know what
Is that the reason why relationships work is because you have to be able to put yourself in the place of your partner, and your partner has to put themselves in the place of you, and you guys come to that understanding together. And I just don't understand why, as men and women, that disconnect is just so vast, if that makes any sense. If if you got anything to say on that, go ahead.
I think that disconnect is that way because part of the way, the reason, you know, you have at an all-time high, you know, women doing OnlyFans, you know, women want to strip, women wanted to do of my stature would not approve of,
Right.
you know, and I think provide.
Yeah, but everybody's not for you then. I mean, I get it, but if it's not for you, that's like the ones we call hoes, 304s, Instagram thoughts, OnlyFans girls, escorts, hookers, hell, even crackheads. I literally seen like a couple that's like both meth heads. The society doesn't approve of, but guess what? They are dating, they're in love. So if it's not for you, it's not for you. But I wouldn't put that on the whole absolute as all.
More opportunities for women and men overall would change that as well. People don't communicate anymore. Everybody is like, to me, out for their own selfish gain.
Yeah, got to get out more, brother. Got to get out some more. There's people communicating. Just got to get out a little bit more.
And it's like on the show, like I said on my story, you know, it seemed like those women were there for a helpmate and not a soulmate. You know, we came for different purposes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I don't, you know, like I said before, I don't treat women, I court them. It's a big difference, you know. You treat an animal.
All right, I got to call a spade a spade. So we're saying we don't court women. He court women, but again, we have receipts earlier, along with the millions on top of millions of women saying, "Hey, I have receipts of this gentleman stalking me, harassing me, stealing from my child, harassing me wherever I go, putting trackers on my vehicle, gaslighting the ever living heck out of me." So I don't know what's your definition of courting. I mean, can we ask him the definition of courting so we can go ahead and be very transparent? Because I am not hearing it from the receipts that we have here.
You know, when an animal does something nice, you give them a little treat. Here's a little doggy bone. You court a woman. You know, you treat that woman like a goddess. But I can't give you 110% of me, and you are giving me 75% of you in return. And you giving Jonathan 10%. You got Jimmy, he another 10%. You know.
Where are the receipts? A lot of them, a good bulk of them, Poppy Blanco. I'm gonna drop the link below. If you see her earlier, the woman pretty much had some stuff I had earlier to show. Also, it's all on her TikTok, where this gentleman is making a claim saying, "Hey, sorry about that. This, I don't know what was that. It's been a busy day." Probably says, "Where's the receipts?" All up on Miss Pretty Girl Glaze's TikTok. That's one. Anybody had questions about the situation, she's dropping them all. There's women in the chat saying, I understand there's people have their word, right? Can't take everybody for the word. There's women in the chat saying, hey, I need to show proof of that too. So I agree, Poppy. I need to show proof. I'm with you. That's why we're going to get through all this. The woman show earlier, we're going to go over back and forth from what this gentleman said and to what the young lady said in the TikTok. And I'm very sure the women in the chat, they're more than welcome to come up down the line. Got a whole nother separate conversation about Mr. Weapon X, where they can show receipts of him stalking, harassing, and everything else. What the? There's another one. Hey, we got, again, need the proof. The transgender person came forward about him being with him and receipts too. All right, there you go. We'll have receipts down the line. So we'll just take that for what it is.
Your attention is divided. So when I'm pouring into you, like I stated before, I'm pouring into you, the seeds that I'm planting, they'll never grow because you're distracted.
And this is, it's crazy. That was some heat. Hold on, that was some heat. And this, it's crazy. This is why I wanted to do the interview with you, because I was sitting there after you reached out to us on Instagram and you said you watched the reaction. We get a lot of people that they see our reactions and then they show some love, they do all this. But as soon as we uploaded your video of the Pop the Balloon Arlett's video, we got so many people in the comments going, yeah, the last guy he's on Instagram going crazy. He's on Instagram doing this. Oh, he said this. Oh, this is going on. And one thing about, you can ask my wife even this, one thing about me is,
he was on his Instagram. So why did he remove the videos? Because I don't see them no more. Why he remove the videos? Like, it just got like one picture of him. He did like one story repetitively. I don't know. Be careful on the road, Poppy. Shout out to Vegas says, I'm Poppy, just watching YouTube and shopping online. Hey, there you go. See if there's some little custom PCs out there, Vega, in the $800 range. Appreciate you.
When it comes down to this internet stuff, I try to stay unbiased. I try not to pick a side until I actually know stuff, because I've seen the effects of what happens when you jump to conclusions and you pick a side too fast.
I agree.
Right? Yes. This is why I said I'm interviewing you today. If the Esther chick ever said, oh, I want to be on there and I want to talk my talk, I hope it's respectable, but I'm gonna be unbiased. I'm gonna say, hey, go ahead, talk your talk. But at the end of the day, one thing we gotta all understand, in the Bible it says, what's done in the dark is gonna come to the light. Yeah. Meaning that all truths and all lies are gonna be exposed at the end of the day. So that's why having you reach out to me, I'm like, you know what? I see him on this, I see him talking his talk online, but I see all these people, they take the 3-minute video clip or the 3-minute Instagram clip, and they sitting there. I saw one lady like, oh yeah, you must beat men. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that was my issue too, because again, I didn't know the guy. I'm just asking questions because on the end it just came up on Facebook on my end, and it was on my niece's Facebook, and then the comments, one lady was just like laughing, like, oh, but that's what he gets since he made a comment about the 100K. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't justify him losing his job. So we got to get a little bit more deeper than that. And then somewhere else, I saw a comment similar to that too, was like, this is not it. Like, and even on this end, it wasn't bad, but we was giving prefaces. Like, I think shout out to New York. New York was saying he's not my type because how he presents himself with the open shirt. And somebody was saying that he was short. Somebody was saying like, the lady on the dating for him was like, he looked like a Ninja Turtle. But those are all prefaces. If it's not for you, I'm good with that. But again, that doesn't justify him at that moment to him losing his job. That was like my whole gripe about it. Now, as everything persists before this conversation was, let me question the fact like, hey, if I'm easily, because again, he had the ego with it. He was arrogant, like, yo, I can pull out 100K. Why can't you? Even if she's giving that type of energy, you know what? You got it. We still in the dating show. It's not working out. You're good. God bless. Thank you for your time. Let me go. I'm not gonna clap back saying, oh, like with the the grandeur of like, well, if you're saying this about me, hey, I got 100K. Let me lead with my money. Let me lead with my wallet. Because then it becomes, no respect to him, it becomes like a lot. You're showing a lot about your personality. Like it's your ego. It's a whole nother personality persona about you. Like you felt a little bit. What is it again? As far as when the narcissist trait, when your ego get a little bit damaged, that's when it exposed a little bit. So there's little stuff like that. But I definitely want to lead with my wallet, especially like if I had it or not. If I had it or not, just hey, you got it. We're in a dating show. You got 2 minutes of my time. I have 2 minutes of your time. Let's keep it moving down the line and keep it moving. If she doesn't know you, why would you even care about what this woman thinks? Just being honest. Why would you care? You got it. Let me move on.
I was looking at your comments. I'm like, at what point did he even sound aggressive towards women in anything that he said? But all of a sudden, you a woman beater, and they sitting there going crazy. So I'm like, you know what? I got a small platform. It's not a great platform, but God has blessed me with the platform. And I always tell people that I want to let God move on my platform. And if letting people talk their truth and really tell it is a way to use the platform, then we might as well do it. So how are you feeling now that you're blowing up right now? You're on World Star, you're on all this stuff. And I understand you're already like a fitness guy and all that. So a lot of this viral pressure does hit you. But how do you feel when you got people just making all these random stories and claims about you and they don't even know you?
So at first it was frustrating, you know, because I know the type of man that I am. The individuals around me know what type of man that I am. And, you know, people start to delve deep into what transpired in the past, you know, and I can't escape my past, but I can recreate my future.
Curious if he's going to ask him about his past, like what exactly he mean about can't escape his past, because that's kind of cryptic. That's a little bit cryptic, but we'll see how it's go.
Right. You know, I don't. They want to judge on, you know, things at the negative, anything they can find negative, but anything positive that I've done, they don't want to talk about. You know, so I think, well, you know, Jesus was perfect, right?
Right.
They still talk bad about Jesus. Yep. So they're always going to have something to say about me. Just keep talking. You know, like keep blowing me up, keep making me bigger. And, you know, God willingly, the right person sees me and something, you know, a career takes off. I don't have to plumb anymore. Something comes out of this. Right. But I don't care what people got to say. You can think the I know the type of man that I am. The individuals around me know what type of man that I am, and and you know, people start to delve. It's scary, you know. I don't that the negative, everything, anything they can find negative, but anything positive that I've done, they don't want to talk about, you know. So I think, well, you know, Jesus was perfect, right?
Right.
They still talk bad about Jesus. So they always gonna have something to say about me. Just keep talking, you know,
like
keep blowing me up, keep making me bigger. And you know, God willingly, the right person sees me and something, you know, a career takes off. I don't have to.
Shout out Papa Blanco. Papa Blanco says, Great Pill Podcast. The studio where the balloon show happens is 7 minutes away from my house. I know 3 girls off the group of the girls where this guy went viral. Oh crap. And I'm going to ignore the last 2. So shout out to the petty. Shout out to the petty.
Plum anymore. Something comes out of this.
Right.
But I don't care what people got to say. You can think the worst of me. The women out there that are afraid to take a chance with me, you're depriving yourself of an opportunity with a great man. These women that you see trying to clout chase off of me, and you know, they make money off social media. They don't have very good paying jobs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but that shouldn't matter. Again, I would like to know who are the women that are clout chasing on you. Is it one of the women that was on a platform? Is it the women that was in the chat talking about it? So I don't know. But we'll switch over for a hot minute since no, Poppy, no, Poppy, I swear to God. I swear to Allah. All right, so Poppy Blanco was asking for receipts, and also we're going to hear the other lady's side of the conversation since you brought it up. So let's go down a little bit because the TikTok actually like talk about like life, makeup, eyeliner, all that good stuff. So okay, so these is one of these right here. So it could be a conversation.
Y'all want to talk about it? Let's fucking talk about it. This man that you see right now, his name is Aaron, and he was in this video and it went viral. It hit over 2 million views. And let me tell you, you can see it in real life how crazy he is, how rude and nasty he is. Remember all my stories about how he put sugar in my gas tank, how he put a tracker in my car, how he put his spare cell phone recording at all times to try to catch me at work cheating when I work with nothing but women. Yeah, he would do pop-ups at work and everything. He uses the same excuses over and over again. So if you want more story behind this, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. Let me know if you want the full story time behind it, because it can get very detailed, very graphic, and I was left very traumatized. I had to move apartments, get a new car. So again, if you want the details, go ahead and drop a comment below.
Fully attracted to you, and I feel like.
All right, that's one right there. Again, he has a story, she has a story. So she's saying that Shax has receipts and timelines and everything else going forwards. Here's another one right here.
So I never actually got to see any of the money. I remember one time he like withdrew some money and he had like $20 in there and he had to call his dad or something to like transfer money because all of his money was in a trust fund. But one time he was really, really mad at me, and through the text free app, because I had his number blocked, he texted me a picture of his bank account, which this is the receipt. His name right there, Aaron. I don't know what pro extra member means. I have no idea.
The pro extra member is actually like a membership where he has with Home Depot and such. So that's pretty much something like if you work with them or have like some kind of credit card with them. So that's pretty much what he has with them. So that's with Home Depot. It actually says at the bottom receipt, but it shows like a credit or something like that. That's something he has worked out with Home Depot. So just to answer that one, because I thought it was pretty interesting.
No idea what all of this means. Supposedly, this was his balance on one account and this was his balance on another. Now, do I believe it? Not necessarily. Again, I didn't let him pay for anything because I didn't want him to have the right to any of the things that I own, but he would complain about spending $20 here and $20 there. So do I actually believe that he has that amount of money in the bank? I don't, but he is a licensed plumber only because I helped him apply for some jobs here in Arizona, and I actually know where.
So she helped him apply for some jobs, but according to him, he stuff that he should be able to do it himself, right? Should that make sense? So if he's knowing you transition to another state, I mean, I'm fine with a woman helping, give some assistance, but if he has the talent and skill, like why he's not going ahead and apply to another state in his own? Like I said, it's a little suspect there.
where exactly he works and everything. Like I have his email, his credentials, everything. So he is a licensed plumber. I don't know if he's employed with the same company because I haven't kept up with him ever since I blocked him. I try to close that can of worms, but this is the answer to your question.
All right, so number 3.
Exactly. This is one of the reasons why I started to tell my story. And after I told my side of the story, so many women have came forward.
Before she get into it, a woman comes forward about the pop-up balloon guy, buff guy. I call him the plumber guy. This man is going around posting that I stole his wallet, and the people that know me know I would never do anything like that! Exclamation point. I'm hardworking woman and get everything for me and my son. Me and him been talking for a while. I would love to time and date on when she was talking to him. Was hanging out for the first time this weekend last night. I didn't think I was going to see my son again. He put his hands on me and I was pleading for my life. I don't want to put details out. I saw my chance to run and I ran for my life. Because I did that, his posting I stole from him and asking anyone for my location, I will pay $500. Please help him. I'm asking for my son's safety, please. Okay. Shout out to Poppy says, see, I told you, Great Pill, send me the link. Send me this link when you get a chance. Man, you better not be argumentative when you come up here. I'll drop a link. We're close now. Give me like a hot 15 minutes because we definitely got to go through this. Now let's just say this part, this is all true, right? If he has the money he say he does, why are we reaching out to people online to offer them $500 for money that he claimed she stole? Now he didn't put a certain dollar amount on how much that the person stole from him. So I think from the stuff I'm seeing, maybe he's trying to get personal information. Like, hey, if I can't find her, maybe somebody else can. So therefore, when you give me the information on this person, then I can reach out. But if he went on a date with her, why don't he just call the cop? The same advice we gave Pretty Girl Glaze. But all of them say in the chat, even herself, they got police records, documents, everything on him, restraining orders from pretty much all 3 states of this guy. So they called the cops. So if he is requesting for people and he's seeing a illegal activity, why don't he just call the cops and just say, hey, me too?
Now, this girl I found on Facebook, well, it was sent to me, and she's basically saying that they hung out and he's going around stating he got $500 on whoever finds her because that she stole his wallet or whatever, but he actually physically put hands on her. You can see it. This is her original post. I just cropped her name off of it. I don't want to expose her. I don't want to put her in any danger. So this is the Facebook post. She says she works really hard for her money. It looks like she's a single mom as well, and that he's like airing her out to whoever. This is a picture of him, and that's her little story. If she wants to come out and tell her story, that is completely up to her. It did take me a little while to come out with my side of the story. I didn't know if I wanted to do it. But again, the reason why I did it was because I wanted other women to be safe. I wanted other women to feel like they can come forward to any type of experience of abuse that they have been through. And, you know, I can keep showing you guys proof if you guys want, but that's that.
And that's pretty much where me and Miss Glaze had the conversation. Like, she's pretty much seemed like she's very open, and honest with everything on stuff she's showing on TikTok. People's asking a question in the comment section per receipt, and she's showing it all from there. And again, going by his words, he's saying, "Hey, he don't want a promiscuous woman." Again, just by optics alone, the women on the dating show look like a promiscuous woman. This young lady here look like promiscuous woman, like a lot of stuff that most people would deem as like, hey, this is not for me. Let me just automatically just assume this person's a thought, this person's this person that. So people have their opinions on it. So, but if you personally said, hey, this is a type of woman optically that I don't want, then why are we engaging with these type of women? That's the problem. That's a problem I have with it. Okay, I got you, Poppy. I'll send you the DM. I would just ask to be. I'm sure you will. I'm just asking people just be fair with the information that's given to them, because again, these are real people with stuff going on. It's not the whole fresh and fit YouTube drama stuff. Oh, and look, there's a video of her shaving hair of her arms. There's a video of her shaving. All right, little cheeky banter humor for that one. Shout out to Scammer. Scammer says she talked to him in the beginning of the year. Yes. He goes from state to state. I'm in California. The girl before me was on in M. Then Pretty Girl Glaze was in Arizona, and another girl in Arizona. Wow, that's crazy. Shout out to Marcus. Marcus says, watch out for the hairy firearms and them hands, hand size. Okay, so here is one of the videos where the last two videos right here. So I think this is part 2.
All right, welcome back to part 2 of Watch Who You Date. We're talking about Aaron, the guy that went viral on Pop the Balloon Game. So anyways, he starts to distance me from my family. He starts to track me. I give him my location because I had nothing to hide. Every time I would walk by the window, my location would show that I was outside. So he'd call me like, what are you doing outside? Who are you messing with?
And that's crazy. Like how we get to that far to levels like I need to give you my location. And this is, and no disrespect to Ms. Glaze, a 3-month span of dating somebody. I need to allow you to put a location on me to the point where you feel like you can't trust me. If you can't trust me, it's not working out. If I say I'm going to the corner store and something happens and it takes me 5 minutes and I'm coming back like 30 minutes or an hour, the very least, hey, are you okay? What are you doing? Is everything the matter with you? That's how we should approach that. And I agree, Yvette, those are control issues. I agree. Why we need to put that type of implement onto somebody? We really got to put tracking devices on people's cars. We really got to put tracking devices on people's phones to do all that. That is a lot. That is a lot.
With that work, why aren't you working? Like that controlling, right? Then he starts doing pop-ups at my job, and it got so bad because he would show up in his work truck while he's supposed to be at work at my job, that my supervisor had to keep watching me. We had to basically everybody had to walk me to my car after work to make sure that I made it. And the girls would text me, hey, did you make it? Again, it's a clinic full of girls. So that was a red flag number 2. And then one time I walked outside to the cafeteria and he calls me and he's like, how did I know you were outside? So that in my head was like, circles are already turning.
Just casually accent, did he send text messages and all this? Because I'm sure you have it. So yeah. And again, just for the most people out there who's maxing out receipt stuff, again, a lot of this she's saying, her and a lot of ladies in the chat is saying that there's documents of this, police reports of this, the series of pattern and behaviors of this nonsense. So Think before you speak. That's all I would say.
I go to my car to see if he put a tracker because he is capable of doing some shit like that. And I couldn't find anything. And then he pops up at my job like, don't break up with me. Don't do this. Like, I'll change. I thought I was going to catch you doing something. And I was like, how did you know I was outside? Right. He said, I put my extra phone tracking you in your car and I left it on record because I was expecting to record you doing something, as in cheating on me or like messing around in your car. And I was like, I was done. After that, I was completely done. I said, get your stuff, get out of my house, and come bring me my key. And he was like, no, I'm going to change, whatever. I went home. He was still there. He was like, let's try to work it out. I was like, you know, he already lives with me. He moved here, like whatever. And it was going, I was going to do it so bad.
That's a good one too, Poppy. Poppy says if a man is that controlling, he will. It's like an ex-girlfriend female woman thing. If he's that controlling, he will text you every 5 minutes, asking a million questions. Where are those screenshots? Yeah, so I would definitely ask, and I'm sure she's in the chat, but I would definitely reach out to her again to make sure she has the receipts of that too. Because right now he's saying telling her side of he's telling his side of the story per the interview that he had with the nice couple. She's telling her side of the story with this one, and that's where it goes from there. So it will all come out. It will all come out.
And then he went to go get coffee for me or something from Starbucks, and he was like, something's wrong with your car. And I was like, what do you mean something's wrong with my car? He's like, yeah, it started to act weird. And I was like, okay, hold on right there. My car, I have a 2019 Dodge Challenger. It's been perfectly fine. I kept up with the oil. I don't understand. All of a sudden you're driving it and something's wrong with it. Go to part 3. All right, welcome back.
All right, so she says there's a part 3, and she also said something recent too. I think it's just a regular recent video. Here's part 3.
Part 3, and this is the last part that I'm gonna post about Aaron, the buff guy from Pop the Balloon Game and Watch Who the Fuck You Date. So he was like, yeah, your car.
All right, now we asking for a lot, Poppy. I think that one might be a little bit aside, unless she have like a clear thread. I'm sure it's doable, but again, he might say, hey, I changed my number and that's not my number. I'm just for argument's sake, let's just say she do show text messages, which she will and show that, and then his response to that is like, hey, that's not my number. So I don't know, but I'm sure she probably got text message. I'm pretty much more into the restraining order. Yeah, you definitely can. She brought that up earlier in the conversation with the stuff that her claims versus his, because he was making claims against her, and that was actually brought up for as the false document. So I'm agreeing with you on that one. So that's why I said just the thumbnail title before she came on, I was like, somebody's lying. Somebody's making up a story, somebody fabricating something. But for the most part, she's like, hey, I got receipts on this. Let me show it. Okay, cool. On his end, he's like, hey, I'm just telling my side of the story because of how the engagement was on a dating show. And because of that, I lost my job. Multiple women's in the chat coming through saying, hey, you know, all saying pretty much the same story. Like, hey, he did this to me, plus more. Another one saying he did this to me, plus more. So that's where we're going from that. We're on his end is just only his words with nothing to come back it up. He's not even really making a claim. He's saying, hey, this is what's happening to me. Other women saying, hey, he's lying. This is what he did to me. This is what my side of the story is. And now fair, the question is, okay, if you're saying he's doing XYZ, show the receipts of that. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with a ghetto lawyer, man. Ghetto lawyers win too. Ghetto lawyers win too. So now the opposing side is saying like, okay, these are very good large claims on an individual because he's claiming he lost his job. He's claiming this and that third about himself. Where is the receipts on the stuff that of his behavior that he's done to you? Because this is problematic. So this woman came up and said, hey, this is what's going on. The women in the chat is giving their story and their history of what they encountered with this gentleman. So this is where it's going on from here. So, but also to be fair with the conversation, we also know that when it comes to the male and the female dynamic, sometimes if something happens to the male, nobody really raises up for the guys and say, "Hey, me too, me too." It's just like, "Hey, you're on your own, brother. You're on your own." So this is why he's having an interview. I'm guessing from the other guy on the platform. Shout out to Avoided Hornet. Appreciate you, good sir. Said, "What's up, people?" Shout out to Marcus. Said it could be AI. Come on, man. Come on, man. AI. I ain't gonna lie. AI gonna come to the point where we have to like physically be there now. AI is messing up so much. I believe it's gonna come to the point where we have to like. If I say I made this inside joke about Poppy, right? I always tell Poppy every time I see Poppy on Instagram with a bottle of Hennessy, I say, "Hey, Poppy Blanco is drinking sweet tea. Like, don't lie to the public, Poppy Blanco. You know you're drinking sweet tea, man. You're lying." Now there comes a point now, like if I get some AI generated video of Poppy Blanco pouring sweet tea inside a Henny bottle, they might believe me. They might believe me. So now Poppy Blanco got the proof with 99.99% of reasonable doubt that he is not drinking sweet tea out his Hennessy bottle. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make that a theory. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there in the air. Poppy Blanco isn't a Henny drinker. Poppy Blanco is drinking sweet tea in a Hennessy bottle. He just grabbed empty bottles of Hennessy and pour sweet tea in it. And I'm gonna do an AI generated video of him doing that, and I'm gonna see how people act and respond to that. Because the people is crazy. Yep, exactly. That's why I take half these internet stories for the face value. You have to. But when it comes to like serious claims, like I said, it started off with the guy losing his job, for whatever reasons, and then it comes back down to real women stepping up and saying, "Hey, did somebody just reach out to me on Instagram?" Okay. And then it comes back to like real women coming up and saying, "Hey, this guy physically attacked me, physically assaulted me, stole from my children." So it becomes a real conversation, becomes a real question. So, but Poppy Blanco is right. Like, hey, if you're making those serious claims about a guy about this, all my links is below. My Discord is here. My email is there. Miss Pretty Girl Glaze. She's seemed very confident with it. She's more than welcome to send me all the receipts. The ladies in the chat, they're more than welcome to send me all the receipts about it. I would make sure I do a quote unquote part 2 where I sum up all this long, lengthy stuff and give it context and make another video so it can be premiered out there so everybody can just get a straightforward clarity of the conversation. So I apologize for the technical difficulties, man, me getting cut off twice or 3 times. But yeah, but it got to be a real conversation at that point. Poppy says, no man should lose his job just because we went on a TV show, roast a girl, and now 500 bras call his job to get. Yeah, that's the part that got me triggered to the point of like it got to be a casual conversation for the first part. That was Tuesday with Ruby and Wes, and that's pretty much how we left it. Then today, I was going to talk about a guy that's been a lick, meaning that he loved to pay women out of pocket just for sex, and then have like. And also react to 2 prostitutes that actually make guys into licks. That was actually going to be the conversation until I saw more stories, more layers to this conversation, and a lot of it was coming sourced from a lot of context was coming from Pretty Girl Glaze, and now a lot of the women is coming forward with it. So I will make sure I ask and say, "Hey, need some if this is what's said, receipts." Shout out to Marcus. Marcus says we could be listening to music to AI, Great Pill voice with struggle streaming. You know what's crazy, Marcus? You know what's crazy? There's actually is an AI app where if I speak regularly and the app will translate it and it will have my voice and actually speak in Spanish. I just saw that today. I will have an AI will speak for me. It will speak in Spanish. With my voice. Yeah, the sweet tea gets me drunk though. Hey, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna go ahead and promote that one. Poppy Blanco is drinking sweet tea out of Hennessy bottle. He's been lying for years. I promise you. That might be a debate. Hey, Poppy, that's gonna be our beef right there for YouTube. That's gonna be me and Poppy's beef for YouTube. Hey, Poppy drinking sweet tea. I've been doing it for years. Let's collab. We get thousands of views off that for something that's silly. Okay, so this is part 3.
Starts acting funny. I was like, no. At that point, I was like, already get out of my house. Like, I don't want you here. You ain't paid one bill. You put $20 a light one time, and maybe you spent like $30 on groceries because I was gonna cook dinner one time. But my mama always told me, do not allow a man to come into your home and pay any bills, because then he's gonna feel like he has the right to either stay there or like, oh, I paid the rent, I live here too. But in our reality, everything that I had gotten was mine, and I didn't allow him any part of that. So I was like, all right, get out.
I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be a thing. Shout out to Marcus. Marcus says, I'm definitely gonna cash at you when you add that. Hey man, give me a week. Give me a week. And I'm gonna make sure I gotta do the extra though. I was thinking like just have me on a video, just like speaking Spanish, just make me move my lips, anything else. Give me a week, man. Give me a week. Hey, how much in the cash app though? Don't do nothing like that's some work I'm gonna put into. Don't do $1, okay? I'm asking for 20, but you know, be humble, pretend it's the church, okay? Give what you can, give what you can. Shout out to Inky, Inky and the Pinups. Appreciate you, Inky, for coming through. Inky, where you been, girl? I've been hitting you on the comments, emails, discords. I even made the phone calls. You got me running around here like an ex-boyfriend. What's going on, Inky? I hope you and the family is doing well. Last time I saw you was doing like a, I guess was it the I forgot the full eclipse thing was going on. That's a pretty cool video that you was doing. I'm glad. I hope you're doing well. Next Tuesday, remember group conversation. But if you can't make it for group conversation, we have other things available. So, hey, that's been everybody. I just appreciate you coming into the chat, Inky. But definitely make sure you check your emails and stuff in the Discord or something. Like I don't know which you're very comfortable with or very active on. So. Clearly it's not emails, but if it's Discord, let me know. If it's the phone number, I'm available tomorrow, so I'll definitely give you a call and just pretty much just play catch up and see where plans going on with your channel versus mine, and we'll take it from there. But I'm glad you're doing better. You got your 10 fingers of toes. Says thank you, hun. XOXOXO. All right, good stuff. Miss Jazz comes in because the keyboard warriors like y'all. We give up personal information that hurt us, and you say it's A1 or is fabricated. You don't tear down our credibility. That's why I'm afraid to do what she did. Yeah. And this is why we got to have the honest conversation. This is why you got to be fair on both sides. So I agree with Miss Adams on both fronts. You got to have the honest conversation on both sides. Again, the guy made a claim saying, hey, now this is the guy said. He made a claim saying the black women was got him fired from calling. That is not true. He cannot be accurate. He can't prove that. And that was pretty much the whole trending thing on his end where people was hating on him. He went viral because of it. Then it would claim saying that women was mad at him. So therefore, because they mad at him, they start speaking up against him. Again, that is not true because the stuff that, which we'll get more information that, and again, Miss Jasmine, you don't have to give like concrete information like about yourself because the internet is weird. You can just, hey, this is what he's done to me. Again, we mentioned the police reports. That should be enough. If your name or whatever would be crossed out. We mentioned restraining orders. That should be enough. Miss Pretty Girl Glaze has actually been brave enough to say, hey, let me share my experience with this guy. That is fine. Just the basics, when she's sharing that information, also say, hey, like she's mentioning text messages or conversations between them two. As she's telling her story, share that out too. Like, hey, this is what happened. This we said. That would be enough. Because again, people on the internet is very weird. People are going to believe what they want to believe. And we all know this for a fact because I'll give an example. Let's say a fresh and fit or a sneaker out there in the world. I literally seen guys, these are grown men in 4K literally lie and say, I did not do this. And we literally would have them in 4K video showing the opposite of that. Probably Things is another one. can't stand her. She would literally lie in 4K, say one thing, and you have her in a whole another form. It's like, this is not true. People have confronted other people lying, and then they'll like flip and gaslight the story and narrative. So long as y'all bringing awareness to the situation, I'm personally fine with it. But if you feel comfortable, say, hey, Gray Pill, this is what it is. This is what I'm showing you. And we could take it from there. Redact your number, redact your name. You could do it before you send it to me. I'll make sure it's get redone before it gets sent out. And that's pretty much where it goes from there. Shout out to Feminine Melanin University. Okay, shout out to you, lady. I appreciate you coming on through. I think it's your first time. I do recall your platform. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. She got the waving in the hands. It's a very interesting story with this one. Definitely make sure you check out the beginning up to now because it's a very interesting story this transpired. So thank you. Bring a little bit more awareness to the conversation. What's going on to Scammer? Scammer says, and that's exactly what he did, but he stole my phone and hacked my iCloud. So I had to create a whole new iCloud. So I lost all my contacts, text accesses, or my emails, and all my social media. That's ridiculous. Feminist says, hello, Marcus. Appreciate you, Marcus. Shout out to Feminist. Feminist said, it couldn't have been the Browns. Could have been smoke women too. Hey man, maybe they like some sweet meat. Some woman on the platform said he called them sassy. Some woman, I didn't see the sassy, but some woman said he was a little bit sassy for her taste, and that wasn't cool. He was maybe walking around like this when he stepped in. She's like, no, you're a little bit sassy for me. A little bit too sweet meat. So what else we got going on? Yeah, PD is definitely another one. That's a perfect example. But again, people have to be very aware. But again, PD, if he had what? Money, status, power. That's how he was controlling a lot of his narrative. He was spinning a lot of the lies and stuff that he was controlling. And at the same time, when he did what he did, came out, most people like, hey, she's not innocent too. She's guilty. She's guilty. She did this. She did that. But the evidence came out. So I don't know. Shout out to Scammer. Scammer says when we make police reports, they know it's him, but Aaron never admits it's him. But the text messages, the cops can tell it's him because the verbiage is the same. Fair enough. Feminist says no. Been my sixth time left a line in the chat. That is sometimes I can only watch from the TV and not chat though. Okay, I appreciate you. She kept cast like, hey, this is my sixth time coming up here, Great Bill. You mind your business. I know what I'm doing. Hey man, I appreciate everybody for coming on through. Definitely hit the like, definitely subscribe, definitely make sure the bell notification coming on through, and definitely a special shout out to Pretty Girl Glaze because she didn't have to come up here. Like she really didn't. I was gonna do review both sides, give my opinion about it, and we're gonna move on to my day and wish everybody the best of luck. That's pretty much how that's gonna go. But she actually graced us with the present, didn't have to do that, and shared her side of it. So that part. Marcus says, just from my experience and what people have shown me in certain career and resume experiences, I gotta show proof and let it be shown to me. Yeah, but it's a different class. Most people, and I don't want to shut anybody down. Or it depends on the type of job. Like some jobs, you have to do like a whole background criminal. I know for border patrol, security analysis, a lot of people when they move to go for a whole another job, even if it's just a seasonal, per diem or whatever, those top tier security clearance jobs, like you have to like do a extensive background check. Shout out to my homeboy, a brother of mine. When he left from the army, I think he did like 6 years in. He went straight into doing like security. They had to do like a 10-year background. Even when he got a speeding ticket, he had a domestic dispute with a ex of his. Now, mind you, domestic dispute only means it can mean anything. You can have a verbal argument in the street that will constitute as a domestic dispute because it's two couples or two spouses arguing with each other and one had reported. That could be it right there. Now it can go a little bit further down the line if some actual extra is in that report, like, hey, hands was being thrown, vases or something, destruction of property. So that also is elements with the domestic dispute from there in the report. So That being said, every time he had to go into renew his job, even if it was the same job, he would get a phone call and he had to go back and rehash that whole story all over again. So it sucks if you have like a speeding ticket. It sucks if you have like some kind of criminal background, which is not very like a misdemeanor or something like that. But it will come up, and that level top tier will ask the questions, and you have to rehash the whole story all over again. So even if it was 10 years ago, so just be aware of that. But if it's just regular smuggler jobs and you just have a misdemeanor, people don't care. You're not a criminal. You're not slinging drugs. Okay, welcome on in. You got experience. Let's go. Shout out Feminine said, "Oh, he was sassy, and it proved when I saw his other videos on his page. Not saying he is gay, but so, yeah, like I said, I watched both of his Instagrams, and it's just like he removed everything. He just got one picture, unless he got like a TikTok somewhere." Because the guy that was interviewing him saying like he was saying a lot. So if he was doing all that extra talking and stuff like Poppy Blanca was saying, that's a lot. You're doing too much to being that argumentative, to being that combative to women. You're just doing a lot. And in my opinion, that's too much. Jasmine says we have the proof that he just said how he know what's exactly him. Really, I got text message pictures, all that. Hey, all my information contact is above. Email it, Discord it. There you go. Shout out to Scammer. Scammer says, you guys don't understand. This guy knows where we live. Also, our lives are still in danger of trying to warn other women so it doesn't happen to another woman. I can't speak for everybody in chat because everybody has an opinion and a voice, and also we share our perspective here. So this is not pretty much a trolling matter unless it's directed to me. So this is a serious conversation. So people in my chat that's regulars, especially mods, they know when to troll and when not to troll. Like you saw earlier with Marcus and Poppy pretty much attacking me for the high quality, the high value alpha male internet connection I have. So that's just an example. But we all understand it's a serious conversation here when it comes to claims on both sides where one guy lost a job. Even Ms. Glay said she doesn't like condone something like that. But at the same time, overall, majority, 100%, we don't condone anybody putting hands, stalking, destruction of private property, forgerism of stealing from children. We don't condone any of that across the board. So bringing awareness to a conversation of something like this definitely is fine with that with me, especially if it's a consistent basis. Like from what we're seeing here, from what y'all sharing, it's like, hey, it's not happened to one person, it's happened to a second person. This just happened like a month ago, it's happened 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So I agree with you 100% on that. He got a record. I pulled him up. Okay, is it on your channel, Feminine? I think somebody showed that, but to be fair, in the interview, he said he does have a pass. I don't know how far a pass goes. If it's like, I'm gonna be fair about it. If it's 3 to 5 years ago, I really don't want to make that a conversation because that is his past. But if it's something recent and it's a consistent repeat offender, like I'll give an example: the brick lady. If it's something consistent and a repeat like the brick lady, then that would be more of a valid conversation to bring to the table. But like I was saying to the ladies in the chat and everybody else, and the question was asked, like, hey, if he said this and you're just saying it, just show it. So that's also fair too. But also, the young lady, Ms. Glaze, said it here, just echoing this because it got to be echoed. He does have a consistent pattern, and is actually in restraining order, police reports, and then some from what the ladies in chat saying, and then some. So it's there. But if you say you pull them up, if you have a link or something, email me, Miss Feminine, definitely show it. If it's on your channel, I don't mind checking it out. But I'd rather vet it out first before I brought it up. Shout out to Feminine, and he's has been jumped before, has had a drive-by done on him before. Yeah, he mentioned that in the interview. He definitely mentioned that in the interview. So you focus on our receipts, but nobody asking this 6 individual where's his termination papers. Is the law. I and MTR, I know MTR personally reached out to him to make it like, hey, just what is going on? Like, I want to hear your side of the story. versus like the aftermath of it. I've tagged him, reached out to him. The person he had an interview with, they didn't reach out to him. He reached out to them. So I guess he felt comfortable to come on their platform. So that's pretty much how it goes when it comes to internet. Like I can ask him, I can tag him, I can reach out to him all day. But if he doesn't feel comfortable to come on to the platform to share for me to ask those questions, it just pretty much is what it is. And that's unfortunately, and it sucks. Shout out to Marcus. Marcus says, no, that's not the point. Unfortunately, on both sides, people have been wrong on the wrong. Okay, Jasmine Adam. Okay, that's your conversation. I apologize. Oh, I got his other vids. I've done deleted. What the? Getting rid of receipts, feminine. What's going on? We don't get receipts. We hold on to them. The stuff might come up a year down the line. Stuff might come up a year down the line. No, it's everything's on. You see right here on the screen. Wearing the Crown Well, Facebook, Discord at the bottom. Wearing the Crown Well is my Instagram. That is my Instagram. The Grey Pill Podcast Instagram is a clone, so that is fake news. But Wearing the Crown Well is my Instagram. Cash App at the bottom is the Grey Pill Podcast. The Discord is the Grey Pill Podcast. The Facebook community is the Grey Pill Podcast. The TikTok, the Grey Pill Podcast community, that is where I'm at. All the links is also below on the channel. So you definitely can find that there. What else? And then we'll go into the video and then we'll call the night from there. Then any other receipts and stuff that Miss Glaze and all the ladies have, we'll make this a part 3 just to kind of dumb down the naysayers. Because I have no problem sending all the receipts to you. Okay, I'm fine with that. Shout out to Marcus. He was sassy and he kept tagging 3 other girls despite them not bothering with him since the show. Constant tags and slander. That sound like you know what that sound like, feminine? That sound like the diaper guy from Fresh and Fit. Like anybody said anything about him, like he was arguing with everybody. He was arguing about Tommy, which everybody know who Tommy. He was arguing with Fresh and Fit. He was arguing with some other MTR. He was arguing with he was calling what's the guy name? Flacco. He was calling him names. Like he was literally all over the place. The person he wasn't speaking to openly, he wasn't speaking to me because I purposely tagged him. I purposely reached out to him. I know he lives on TikTok. Like he has a pattern of emotional unhingedness on his side. And I'm like, hey, let's have a conversation. He wasn't. Unfortunately, he just decided to jump on Saint the Sinners and he just got gaslit the whole hour of the show, which is crazy. So that's another one. Shout out to Jasmine Wright. You see it, he is see you, see it. He come to my house, deletes me and my baby, my dog. That's why people stay quiet and don't help nobody no more. You still have to at least bring awareness, because if y'all doing what y'all saying y'all doing, and that's fine, it has to be brought awareness. But I would just say you can docket personal information about yourself just to bring the awareness. So if I say, and again, I made a joke about Poppy Blanco and the sweet tea, right? Just to give it a point. If I say this person's doing XYZ to me, and then you hear it happening to other people in their story, share your story. I personally is not knocking it for you. I'm saying when you do it, like how Miss Pretty Glaze is doing it, also like, hey, you know what? Let me show the actual text message receipt so it would come up. So now it add more context to it, because what happens is, this is something I said even against the plumber guy. I was questioning him off the beginning, like, why, if he's saying with the ego and the boldness, hey, I can easily pull out 100K out the bank. If he's easily doing that, why are you on the show? And then the quote unquote respectful clapback is, especially in a gender relationship show, the clapback was in response, shout out to Marcus. Marcus said, hey, well, why would he not come on the show? Does he have a right to come on the show? I'm like, you're absolutely right. But I'm just questioning that. And then now I'm bringing down from layers. Like that's where it becomes a conversation. So from there, it's spent up to everything transpired to here. Me asking why a guy that's supposed to be so successful, so in shape, so got it well together, why are you coming on a show taking time out your daily busy life. And he said he's a God-fearing man. If you're a God-fearing man too, if you're coming onto these this dating show to go look for women, for what? What's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of this? If I have the success he has, if I'm that much in shape and I'm that quote unquote groomed together, I will not go out my way to be on a dating show like that. No disrespect to the dating show, but I personally would not go out my way to do that. I will be still out in real life, interacting and mingling with real people, because I myself, according to him, he's saying he been led astray by these type of women. Okay, cool. So that would even be more the reason for you to go outside and interact with other people, so you can have safer ways to find other people. Now, Miss Glaze said, "Hey, I have children. I'm mostly a homebody." Fine, that's fair. He is not. He's single. He's getting to run out the streets and be on his demon time. So he should have more time to be out in the streets vetting. He should have more opportunities vetting. So that was my issue with him. It's like, why are you this successful? Why are you coming on to a platform? And you're taking this much time out your busy schedule to reach out to these women. And I'm with you on, I'm with anybody. This is where you got to have these questions. This is where you got to have these questions. We'll go through a little bit more of the comments and then we'll chop it up and call it a night. Shout out to Marcus. Did I read this one? Yeah, custody tags and slanders. Okay, exactly. Just also showing real person picture city and state where he actually puts us in danger, mind you. This is all the same city and town. Shout out to Poppy, because Poppy said that it's like few 7 minutes or so from him. That's crazy. I guess y'all talking amongst each other. Hold on, let me just make sure I get the clarity. Yeah, he mentioned he's been popped. He mentioned being involved in criminality. Didn't say he was arrested though. Yeah, if it's recent, that'd be maybe a conversation. But if it's like 3-5 years ago, that's his past. I don't want to bring it up to kind of like be like on a character smearing. And he was arrested for setting someone up to be robbed that he met online. Jesus. A lot of ladies. Yeah, if you gonna do it, show what you got. I said the same about the plumber. Not to, yeah, that's you got to be fair about on both ends. Shout out to New York. What I want to know is why is he acting like he dated Dimes, but he clearly don't. Bruh.
Whatever, he leaves. He still tried to contact me. I was like, no, get out. I grabbed my car. I went to my mom's house because I didn't want him to try to come back and to try to convince me. And that's what brings to like my mind all the time. Like, you guys tell people in abusive relationships all the time, like, you need to leave, thinking that it's easy for these women to leave. And it's not like, yeah, they've gotten hurt or whatever, but these women are completely head over heels in love with these men. So it's not easy to leave. So I did what I thought was best. So I went to my mom's house right after.
That's pretty much what we had discussed. And I said earlier, like, I understand what she's saying. It's not hard to leave from a relationship. I gave an example earlier, like a friend of mine that was helping. I felt, still love her to this day, I felt was very gullible. Brought a guy into her home as a roommate, and it went left to the point where she lost her life. Me personally, just the outside looking in, I would say, hey, call the cops, get him out of here. But sometimes that might be problematic too, because when people live in your home, let's say a month or two, you can't really just get them out the house, because now they're like, they got mail in your house, they got a connection to your home. So it happens. It happens. So I agree with her. It's easier said than done. The guys, on the other hand, were like, look, I could just pack up my stuff and put in a trunk and put in my backseat of my car, and I could live in my car for a month, or I could stay at brothers or homies and just leave everything. Some people, especially when it comes to women, it really is easier said than done, because most women have, like this woman here, you have children. You just can't just up and run. So that sucks.
And he's calling me like, dang, you're already at somebody else's house. You're already cheating on me. I was like, whatever. And on my way to my mom's, I start to feel that my car is starting to shake. I'm like, dang, like, what is it? I took it to 2 different mechanics that were like, it was the spark plugs, the ignition coils. I fixed that. And then I went to another mechanic because it started to shake again. And supposedly it was the same thing. They fixed that again. So I went to a third mechanic and he's like, I think they might have put sugar in your gas tank, but I would need to take out the gas tank to make sure. And I was like, no, I don't think he would be capable of doing something like that. Whatever. So I couldn't find what was wrong with it. At this point, I had moved out already because I was so scared. My mom had let me borrow money because I needed to move out before my lease was up. So he didn't know where I lived. I moved apartments. So at this point, I went and got a new car. I went to the dealership and I got a new car. I changed my car. And when I asked him, hey, did you ever find out what was wrong with my Challenger? He said, yes, there was sugar in the gas tank. So, man that claims to be very God.
So this is my point. So this is where I get we need receipts, but this is where like consistently the personality debate. Like I'm trying like, where's the lie? Where's the lie here? Where's the lie here? I'm not very consistent on everything she's saying. Shout out to New York. New York says he was talking about hairs on that beautiful black queen arms, and yeah. We are grateful, pretty girl Glaze. If we didn't bathe the support of one another, we wouldn't have come forward because we know what he's capable. Fair enough. Always need support. Always definitely need support one another.
And studies the Bible and practices this religion, put sugar in my gas tank, tracked my car, put a phone to record me in my car. And I would do things like say everything he needed to hear. Like because I was so scared of him being crazy. Like this guy has a record. You guys don't know that. You guys really need to be careful who you make famous on this app. I don't want to say anything else because I feel like I already opened up a big can of worms. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer them, but I don't want to make this any more parts.
All right, and that's the end of that. So that is a lot. That is a lot. Shout out to Kitsit. He made a statement earlier to I don't know why would you give your name Instagram handle as very handsome. That's also a red flag. That is also a red flag. If you have a person calling themselves the handsome, the most greatest, God, the king, that is a red flag. We pretty much talked about another young gentleman by the name King James running around through YouTube, cheating on multiple women and doing the most. And women had stepped forward against him, but actually had receipts on that one. So it was no denying that conversation at all. No denying it. And had audio and video recordings of this guy too, King James, where he was doing the most, cheating, lying, stealing, fraudulent, a whole bunch of stuff. So yes, it is people out there. But like Mr. Kit said, hey, people might reach out to him too, to him and his wife, and say, look, you telling a story, and then somebody on the other end might tell their story. So that's where it goes from there. All right, I'm not gonna go too much further into it. I'm gonna drop Kiz's link on the bottom of the channel. We'll have to make this a later time. Miss Glaze, again, I appreciate you for coming through and have the conversation. I appreciate the ladies and support that came in with the conversation and sharing your side of the story. Definitely, Miss Feminine, I didn't know you had covered this. I definitely appreciate you sharing your side of it with a lot of information. Anything other information coming through, I will give it like a week or two. So I make sure I have all this together, run it by Miss Classic Ruby. It's my co-host, and we'll definitely make sure we see how we approach this. But far as the I will keep aware as far as the GoFundMe thing with the receipts I see, because again, we're going by everybody's word from it. So the receipts that I see, then we will actually take action from there. But other than that, this has been a lot. It sucks that people get stalked, harassed, and a lot of stuff that come to them. Just keep bringing awareness to a lot of things. But while we're bringing awareness, we also need to bring some awareness of self-aware with other people, some vetting skills, so it won't happen to you again. If we see signs and red flags of other people, like Glaze's mom saw in this other guy, it sucks within 3 months that she had to go so far to like, hey, sure gonna take anything else, but her life could have been taken. Yeah, and needed thousands to move. So that would be my message for everybody out there when it comes to a situation like this. If you have a dislike or you feel the vibe with somebody, that's a whole different story. Like, take action, question things, be out in public. I can go on and on and name a whole bunch of things, but even that, like, just vet as wisely as possible when it comes to the opposite sex. Hold on, let me drop the link, my Instagram link for you, scammer. Give me one moment. Looking at my alarm went off. You know it's bedtime. That is my Instagram right there. And also, to be fair with everybody out there, you can send me DMs. I don't follow people I really don't know. So that's like my boundary too. Also, again, all of my links is below my channel for people who does not know or very unaware of this channel. So we're going to help people out real quick. So if you cannot find me on my channel, you will see right here all 3 links when you click on it. Okay, you have Discord, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Spotify, you have my email. Okay, you also have the Cash App. Shout out the Cash App. But that's pretty much where you can find me. All right, it's even on the YouTube banner where everything's there. So, but I do take this very seriously when it comes to people's lives and how everything is going accordingly. So make sure it will be a conversation. It will be a conversation. So again, Miss Pretty Girl Glaze, I appreciate you for the conversation, for you sharing your side of the story. So there we go. All right, we're gonna call it a night because it's supposed to be 2. I do it 2 hours. I don't try to drag stuff out. Appreciate New York. Appreciate my mods coming through. Let me go ahead and send Poppy this link before I forget. Appreciate Poppy. I definitely appreciate Miss Feminine is coming in with the conversation. So okay, I appreciate you, scammer. So I appreciate everybody for coming on through. I don't know if I'm gonna do something for tomorrow. I was gonna have tonight for a conversation for us, like a guy one who like to be enjoying being licked. That might be for Saturday. We'll do that one for Saturday. So make it a midnight show. Saturday we have expectations on Saturday, so we'll have that Saturday at midnight. Next Tuesday, group conversation. We'll have Miss Ash Line, myself, Classic Ruby, and West, where we talk about relationship attachment. So that will be a conversation for a group conversation for next week, Tuesday. So that will be next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central. Make sure you definitely subscribe. Make sure you have the all bell notifications. Everything will be promoted through Instagram and TikTok on my end. So, but if you're already subscribed, you already have the bell notification added, you will get the alerts. So I would appreciate your guys.
You fight for us. I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.